Good morning. Good. Wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Welcome to Fanon International Boxing Channel. This fine morning. And I want to have more of an MH Blackwell. Definitely want people to jump on the panel, give me your thoughts about this. Because I was reflecting on Gervonta Davis. And the more I put myself in his shoes, and the more that I see the way that people treat certain fighters, Gervonta Davis is doing the right thing by looking for money and money alone. I don't buy you guys. I don't buy the stuff that they talking about, the best fight the best. I only want to see the best fight the best. I'm not buying none of that shit no more. Because I've done enough looking into Gervonta and specifically looking into Adrein Broner. And not fucking Spectrum. Jesus Christ, I hate Spectrum. Like, I can't tell you how much I hate Spectrum. Let me Jackson, Black Parent. My internet connection is looking real bootleg right about now. Let me put the chat. I'm gonna put well, actually, not won't if I put it. Gabe, top of the morning. One second while I wait for Cass to come on in the building. I'm gonna set a goal on Super Chat Thursday at $5. And I will tap dance for you like the rest of these niggas do. Yeah. All right. I did what I had to do. So, what is this? Alex McKnight. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on to my guy Vi Ferrer. Kurt Hurd. What's up? Hey, Kurt. Thank you for that super chat you late, and I don't think I saw you was able to say thank you for that super chat that you left the other day. So thank you very, very, very much for that super chat you left the other day. Let me pull it up. I want to talk today about really what does Adrian Broner owe? What does Gervonta Davis really owe the boxing award? And I thought Andre Ward, I listened to a snippet of Andre Ward, then I listened to another snippet of Andre Ward. I the entire 5-minute, hour-long interviews as of late, because I kind of get the point. But you know, Gervonta, it's been a long time since Gervonta Davis had talked about legacy, and he talking about getting the money and following Floyd's blueprint to get the money. Kentrell LeGrew, you've been hearing what Tim Bradley's been saying. Yes, I have been. Kentrell LeGrew, but what specifically are you talking about? Man, what the fuck? They keep changing colors. What specifically are you talking about? Let me know. wonder why the colors are blue today. So weird, man. Yeah, I've been listening to him, but yeah, I've heard him say a lot of stupid shit about Tank. Like Tim, but what specific thing are you talking about that he said? One time he says he's a Hall of Famer. The next day he says he's gone. The next time he says that he's put in this situation because he's got to save. He says a lot of shit. You know what I mean? So, like, what specifically, Contrell, though, if you don't mind telling me, specifically, what are you talking about? You know, he says a lot of shit about Tank, man. And he vacillates. He vacillates a good amount. What's up, Double Double? How you feeling this morning? Lee Vincent said money talks in all sports. Money talks in everything, not just sports. It talks about everything. He talks about everything. Yes, I have been listening to what Tim Bradley has been saying. Saying Tank is gone, and like, man, I heard a lot of people say what Tank looked like really put a lot into how Tank looked when he's talking to Jake Paul. What is he supposed to do? Supposed to look angry? He's supposed to look like this is a competitive fight? It's not a competitive fight. How these fighters capping about the Tank and Jake Paul and that they would take $40 million to fight Jake? Absolutely. Oh, so you're saying that that's what he said? I did not hear him say that. That these fighters are capping about Tank and the Jake Paul and that they would take $40 million to fight. Of course they would. Of course they would. But it's more important that they would be stupid not to. I don't think that there's a way that you can, because look what happened. You can't have it both ways. You know, hey, do you remember how people talk bad? As a matter of fact, it was on the Akin Barak show not too long ago. Let me put links in the chat. Anybody wanted to debate me about Gervonta Davis, you are more than welcome. And I will not be angry acting. I promise you I will not. I promise you I will not. I will listen to what you have to say, and I will not snap on you. I promise. I had somebody that I was talking to yesterday, and I wound up snapping on him a little harder than I should have. I want to welcome you, especially the guy that called yesterday. Please come back to the channel. I apologize for snapping on you, for being a little bit over the top, putting a little too much mustard on it. You know what I mean? Doing a little too much. Doing a little bit too much. Josh Sanders in the building. What's up, man? TYTKY. Is that Kentucky? The winning team. The winning team. What's up, Ray Patterson? So, yeah, man. He said Shakur don't need Tank. He said Shakur Stevenson don't need Tank. Well, no, Shakur Stevenson doesn't need Tank. That's the truth. Shakur does not need Tank. So the two things, I'll address them back to back. One is that fighters would take the money. And two, that Shakur doesn't need Tank. All right. No, Shakur does not need Tank. He doesn't. He doesn't. He can get some money fighting other people. He can make money fighting a bunch of different guys. He's the WBC lightweight champion. And without a doubt, he can find somebody else to fight. So no, he doesn't need him. He doesn't need him at all. But we know for sure, since Shakur Stevenson doesn't need Tank, we also know that Tank does not need Shakur Stevenson. Doesn't need Shakur Stevenson at all. In fact, it might be in the best interest of Gervonta Davis not to fight Shakur Stevenson at all. It was in the best interest of Errol not to fight Terrence. So, hey, man, you know, it is what it is. 120, I would fight every relative except my mama, respectfully. Yeah, exactly. Nah, Martin, that guy yesterday was a stupid clown and didn't know anything about boxing. But look, LeVar, I did not have to expose the fact that he didn't know shit. I didn't have to do that. I could have been more nice. I could have let him ask me like 5 or 6 questions and just ran around in circles for a while. Seriously, man, I need content, man. I don't get anybody to debate me anymore. Seriously, man, my style of debating is something where people do. I don't want to debate people anymore, because if I debate you, you're going to get balled up and then you're going to get mad. You know what I mean? And seriously, man, I gotta pull punches on these guys, man. I don't think it's right for me, LeVar, to expect this guy to know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? It's not reasonable for me to expect that boxing fans that talk boxing on YouTube are going to know shit. I don't think that's a very fair I don't think that's a fair expectation of these people. I have to understand that no, bro, these guys are really just going to say what they got to say and let them say what they're going to say. I want to listen to them and keep it pushing, man. You know what I mean? Because the boxing sphere is so inundated with false information that I almost can't I just can't even fault the guy. You know, he had a set number of questions and things that he wanted to get across. I don't know if I'll ever truly be able to do that. Lewis Shipman said, Tank said he'd be trying not to laugh at Jake Paul because he says some funny stuff. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine, man. But when you're Gervonta, you're going to have they're going to look at everything that you do and everything that you say, the way that you express the things that you express, But look, I want to talk about Adrein Broner, man. Like, look what's going on with Adrein Broner. Adrein Broner went from about billions, basically being in the same situation or being on his way to be in the same situation as Gervonta was. But he kept going up weight, kept going on in weight, moving up in weight, kept moving on in weight. And eventually he crapped out. And he did not maximize his earning potential. That's for certain. Adrein Broner could have been a very, very big star, was on his way to being a big star on HBO, and that shit went away. And now he's on situations where he's got to take money from Cameron, right? I'm like, man, I'm not going to disrespect your time. I'm not going to disrespect your time. Like that, the way that he got sunned by Cameron. If I'm Gervonta Davis, my number one mission in life is so that nobody suns me again. I don't want to be sunned by somebody like Cameron. So if I'm Gervonta, screw what you talking about, man. Get that money. From his perspective, he just get the money, bro. Because these people don't have no love for you, dog. They're not going to have no love when you lose. You know what I mean? Half of these niggas dropped off. Half these dudes dropped off when you got a draw. You know what I mean? I mean, the ones that are talking about you anyway. You know what I mean? As soon as you do anything that they don't like, they're going to ridicule you. So, why would you live for that? We're living, especially in the social media age. In the social media age, you best off not to say a word. Let these dudes do all the talking, then actually sell some tickets and let them do negative promotions on you. But to actually make decisions that result in anything other than maximized money, not with y'all on planet Earth. You know what I mean? Bro, I saw a YouTuber. Watch this shit. There's a YouTuber that put a picture of his car on Twitter and said that he bought this new car from mining Bitcoin. I also heard somebody say that another YouTuber was out here bragging about how much money he makes. Bro, do you realize these YouTubers are making more money than 99% of boxers make? They are paying these YouTubers, and I mean it. I'm a YouTuber. I'm not getting paid out of marketing budgets like these guys are. Bro, these guys are making more money than undercard fighters for sure. Undercard fighter will get $3 $25,000 fights a year if he's lucky. You know what I mean? These dudes making way more than that. Dogging fighters out, bro. Dogging them out. What up, T. Orlando? How you feeling, brother? Hope you're doing well. You know what I mean? So if I'm Terrence Crawford, if I'm Jaron Ennis, if I'm Gervonta Davis, if I'm any of these guys, bro, I promise you, I'm not listening to anything these guys are saying, man. I'm not listening to anything. These guys really do think they're bigger than you, bro. They think they're bigger than you. They think they're going to be around longer than you. They think they have more influence than you. You can fight as well as you want to fight, bro. Nonito spoke on the money he made as an undercard fighter, bro. Look at what these guys are going to be making in the TKO. Come on, man. These guys are getting paid, bro. They getting paid big money. I want in on it. You know what I'm saying? Let me get in on the scam. But no, for real, it's crazy. What's up, DJ BP 609? What's going on, man? That's the climate you live in, man. You literally, man, these guys and we can say shit, me too. I can do videos and talk about videos and like these Boxing Writers Association of America. All these guys get to do that stuff, man. Well, Joe, what's up, King? Hey, how you feeling today, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Pretty good, you know.
I can't hear you, man. Let me see if I'm just turned down. I'm turned down. Go ahead.
Oh, you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm better. I turned my volume up. My volume was low.
Good deal, good deal. But yeah, man, it's an exciting time. I'm hyped for Scooter Davis, man. That's number one. But interesting convo.
When does Scooter Davis fight again?
Yeah, he coming back again November 22nd.
On what card?
It's gonna be like a I think like a local event near that DC area, if I remember correctly. Because it ain't gonna be like on I don't think Top Rank got like a big card that week. Unless
Okay.
I'm wrong. Unless I'm wrong.
I know. I think they're gonna. Hopefully, they'll announce what Top Rank's new deal is pretty soon. I heard Top Rank. I heard there's a possibility that they might wind up being in Netflix. But what's on your mind, though? What were you saying?
I say like yeah, we was on the Rise podcast last night. You know, they'd asked the question like, what boxer or boxers can come up and fill Tank's shoes with an attraction once he's done. And it's like, yeah, you know, there's a lot of guys, you know, like you know, Shushu Carrington, they got Abdullah Mason. Some people feel Richardson Hitchens. You know, there's a lot of them. But like the one thing though is that some of these guys we kind of been hearing about. Yo, what's up, man? Like some of these guys we've been hearing about for a few years, you know, like Richardson Hitchens, you know, he been tied up with Tank and Shakur and Tiafimo, so we kind of know who he is. And then like Shushu Carrington, I feel like Boots, but it's like some of these guys have pretty much, at least in my opinion, it seems like they missed the window of opportunity to where like they could have been pushed and marketed right to get up there. Whereas we got Abdullah, Kermel, Scooter, and a few others that are just now starting, finally getting in the spotlight. I know Abdullah is the one who's farthest the most ahead, but like I think that the new class coming up behind them is probably the class where they could, if they push them and market them right, and put them in you know, right cards and everything, so they can actually be seen. They could be built up. Is what I'm thinking. But I mean, the other guys, I feel like the ship might have sailed. So we might have to go ahead and wait a little bit before we do get another big star, unless you know we have another Jake Paul come along.
I mean, you never win. I don't think there's an issue. I just think it's water's going to fill a trough. Like it's going to be somebody. It really is. It's always is somebody. There's not. Yeah, there's going to be somebody. The question is just where's it going to fill out? I mean, the guy, I think Boots has had plenty of traction. He just has a lot of negativity on getting poured on top of his head, man. T. Orlando said Boots has an exciting style, but he fucked up his career. I don't know if he really. I don't think Boots fucked up his career. I think Boots is doing just fine, man. Boots just got to. I think Boots is just going to have to get to 40 fights. You know, he's going to have to run out like 10 dudes. And eventually people are going to keep seeing him. And then, you know, just somebody, then you can get the support behind him, man. But nobody's going to make it easy on Boots. That's for sure, because the media, the bought and paid for YouTube media have had it out for him since he refused to fight on BOK Prime with Terrence Crawford, you know? So
yeah, the Boots situation is kind of rough.
I mean, there's just it seems to me to be a very orchestrated effort to prevent Jaron Ennis from getting a lot of positive feedback. And any like this, the thing that Brian Norman is doing with them is, I mean, that's just over the fucking top. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean any disrespect to Brian Norman Sr., Brian Norman Jr., Mill City. I listen to Mill City. I reference his content on a pretty regular basis. Good people all around. The Boots shit is fucking ridiculous, though. I mean, it's just not. It's not. It doesn't do Brian Norman any good, Brian Norman Jr. any good to denigrate Jerron Ennis on a consistent basis when Jerron Ennis really ain't saying anything back. He's just minding his business, and there's this attempt to like make it seem as if he's ducking this guy, ducking that guy, and trying to people trying to attach their name to him in a fight, in the, in the sense that they could be potential opponents, but. I mean, I just think a lot of that
Yes,
shit over the top, man, with
I
Jerron. And
agree.
as a result, Jerron Ennis has to deal with and overcome that. But I think he's got a good foundation in New York. But another guy that isn't been able to give a chance isn't a black dude, but shit, David Benavidez. David Benavidez is really the dude that's right there to be somebody that a whole lot of people should watch. If he was able to get that fight that Canelo Alvarez should have given him, but Canelo Alvarez wouldn't give him the opportunity to get on that stage. So another question that relates to that is who's going to let these guys get on the stage? You're not on the stage doing co-mains. You know what I mean? You're not doing when you have Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero, and they're the headlining fight. You're Devin Haney fighting Jose Ramirez and Teofimo Lopez fighting Barboza before he's fighting. Dude, that's not pushing you guys along. So, I don't think anybody's going to be made an American star out of, if you're going with Turkey Al-Sheikh. I don't think he has any intention on making anybody an American star. He wants to take over the American market, not make American stars. So, get with the people that know how to make stars, have the ability to entertain somebody in a fight, and keep it pushing. Because as soon as Black America gets behind you, then you're going to be near the top of the sport. You just have to; those type of things just have to align for the guy.
Yeah, I agree with that because and I wanted to talk about David Benavidez situation next too. But like the thing with Boots is like you get all this negative feedback. Like the one thing that worries me about him is that he's already over 30 fights in and just now moving up to 154. And like I think he's getting close to 30. Ain't he like is he 28 right now? 29?
27.
27. He's not
27.
that old. Yeah, he's right in his prime.
Okay.
27.
Okay. So yeah. So that's the one thing about me is
Especially
like,
if he's smacking
okay,
it.
I don't know how
Especially if
many
he's smacking it.
that
Especially if he's smacking it.
hey, that snack is undefeated. But man, like the I don't see many fighters who's gonna get up to like that, you know, 50, 60 fight mark, and that's the thing that I'm wondering is like, okay, how much you gonna have left in this tank, to go ahead and keep on competing at that level. But we seen like if he keep up, fighting the way he's been fighting, what was it, two fights a year, sometimes three. I'm sure if he does like three fights a year, by the time he's Canelo's age, so he'll have added on like what 15, is that three and eight? It's gonna be like 24 more fights. He'll be in the mid 50s. I don't know if he's gonna make it to the mid 50s for his fights, and that's the thing. Like everybody's different. Age don't affect everyone the same way, and then you got the wear and tear from training, not just the fights to consider too. So I don't know. And moving up in weight too. Like that's the other thing that concerns me is like I don't know if he got enough time for him to you know rebuild because it's like it almost feels like people noticed him too late. You know what I mean? Because it's like it wasn't until we were finally like, okay, it looks like the Spence and Bud fight can finally happen. And then here comes Boots. And then it's like kind of overshadowed by that. And he didn't get like a title shot earlier or get in the mix earlier, like when Spence was still collecting the belts. You know what I mean? That's the one thing for me where it's like that combined with the people like downing him and everything. But like me, I'm not a Boots fan. I'm still on the fence about where I think he stands, but like it's excessive, especially since he don't be talking about nobody else. That's the part that's crazy that he don't go out of his way to slander anyone, talk down on 'em, and they still treating them the way that they do.
Yeah, I mean that's because they got a design. They are just out to get the nigga. That's why. Just like the same people are out to get the Carlos. I mean I see it. I don't say all the time like all of the different people that get attacked by these guys. These people have personal problems with Jermel Charlo, personal problems with Jamal Charlo, personal problems with these guys. Either because these guys at some point in time wouldn't give him an interview, or they said something to him and they block him or something like that. But whatever the case is, man, these guys in social media, when you get in certain arguments with certain guys in social media, they go on a fucking campaign to get you. So they have the people that they're working with, and they got the people that they make steady videos about to try to tear down. And they continually put out these narratives about these fighters. They are literally narrative machines. Some of their narratives that you get to hear are the narratives that are just like in the arguments that they make and the structure that they make. And those are the ones that I almost always like break down their arguments into the structural argument they're making. But their overall line is that Jaron Ennis is a duck. That's what they go for. Errol Spence Terrence Crawford, not Errol, that Jaron Ennis is a duck. Gervonta Davis is a duck. They start with that. They end with that. Everything that they talk about feeds into that storyline, and that storyline is not going to change. You have other guys who change their storyline every other fight, just depending on whether or not they think their subscribers are going to feel the guy this day or not, right? So you have guys that just bounce around back and forth. But the reality of it, aside from what we see on the internet, is that Jaron has filled up Atlantic City. My understanding is in the fights that he's had, he's selling out arenas in his hometown. So he's established himself a fan base in his city. There's a lot of people, most boxers really can't say that shit, that they can go to their city and they can sell out in their city. The question is, are they going to continue to put the fights there? Are they going to continue to back him, continue to grow his name in that? Are they going to stick him in an undercard and ship him off to Saudi Arabia? So what's your thoughts on that, Anton?
Um, this is my thing though. Like, especially with these pro hating channels. If you doing all this hating and lying on these guys, and the fighter that you supporting, like that, the fighter that you bigging up to shit on these guys, why I never see that fighter on your channel? Why that fighter never give you interviews? Why they never break the big news on your channel? They all run the boxing voice, to be honest. But y'all the guys that's caping for them. So what benefits do you even get from that? You don't get no benefits because they don't even come to your channel. You just you doing it for what? A ticket to a fight? Come on, man. But with the Geron in this, listen, man. If anybody is ever in Philadelphia, you can always go past a gym. It's open doors in there. Boots is in there every day, training. His nephew is in there training. His brothers is in there training his nephew, helping him out. Bosey's in there. Boots live and breathe boxing. Now, the thing that I think what Phoenix was saying that I kind of agree with, sometimes you can possibly overtrain. Boots literally is in the gym every day. Like that's all he do. He don't party. He don't go out. He's in the gym. He goes home. That's his life. He lives a boxer's life. Sunday he go to church with his mom. That's all he do. So I do think that he just needs the right dancing partner to really get his name out there because the skills is there. Now it's crazy because I was watching this fight last night. I watched on YouTube. I watched the Stanionis rematch, and then they got like a compilation of like his best fights and stuff like that. I am concerned with Boots getting hit. Like he does take punches. Now I don't know if he's taking those punches because those people don't really got no power, but sometimes I look at it at like he's not moving his head enough. And his dad says it like, yo, you getting hit with dumb shit, like stuff like that. Excuse my language. But I just think he needs the right dancing partner. He's not getting up for certain fights. Like I feel like he believes he's on a level above these guys, and it's hard sometimes to get up for certain fights. Like some people, even in other sports, they play down to the competition. You'll see a game against a basketball team or a football team, and they'll have a crazy spread, and they wind up losing or not covering the spread because they don't get up for them type of games. Then they play a top tier team, and they look like the best thing out there. I think that's what Boots is going through. Like he just needs the right dancing partner. So I'm hoping after this fight, I'm going to the fight next weekend. I'm hoping after this fight, we can get a couple big fights under his belt, like at least a title fight or another name, maybe the winner of Virgil and Lubin, something like that, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, I agree with
That's
you
all
on
he
that.
really does need is that he needs that Virgil Ortiz fight. If he gets a Virgil Ortiz fight, I think that's really big for him because
Yep.
he's going
Absolutely.
to Virgil Ortiz.
Oh yeah, I was going to say Virgil Ortiz or Xander Zayas, one of the two. I'm leaning more towards Virgil as the better option. The only other one I would have thought of, like off the top of my head, would have been Madrimov, but we seen what Virgil did to him. At Madrimov, it would just be because, like, okay, that's a common opponent above, and people, feel some type of way about Madrimov. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a real dude. So like, so those would have been like the first three names I think of at 154 for him. And then like, yeah, I'm hoping Virgil Ortiz pull out in his next fight and win. And then like him against Boots, I think would probably be like the biggest fight for Boots at 154 right now.
yeah,
And
because
then
I
and
don't
that's
think Zayas would take. I don't think Xander would take that fight right now. He just got his belt. I don't think he's looking to. I don't think they would make that fight.
saying that's
Who
the
is
same way
Xander?
I'm
Who
feeling.
is Xander signed to? Top rank?
Top rank. Xander's eyes ain't
Um,
fighting
Oh
Duran. And
yeah,
it's
he ain't
not, what
fighting
is
Javon
Xander's
in
eyes
this
like?
new.
What is he like? 20? Something like that?
He like 23, 24,
He's not
something like
that
that.
old.
He's
and
not.
he on his high horse
Hell
right
no.
now.
I don't know
No, he
how.
ain't
I
that
thought he was
old.
like 23.
Nah, man. Let me see. Xander's eyes is like 20. Like, or maybe he's a little older than that now, but
And he struggled in his last fight against that Rodriguez guy. That
yeah, he's
Rodriguez guy
23,
was
bro.
landing some big
Yeah, he's
punches.
23. He's 23
20.
now.
Yeah, I figured he
He
was
just
like
turned
23,
23.
20. A lot of people don't know this, man. If you
Just
see,
turned 23. Literally, just turned 23. So yeah.
Jerron Ennis is a big dude, man. In person, that dude, like just like his stature, he only he 5'10", but like his stature, you know how some people's stature just makes them look bigger than what they. He's a big dude. I could see Boots going up to 168 and be comfortable up there. So I think that's what we're going to get. I think over the couple years, I don't think Boots have a long tenure at 154. I think he gets a couple fights up there, maybe like anywhere between 3 to 4 fights, and I think he'll be at 160, possibly in 2027.
I can see that. Depends on how comfortable his body is at 154 because we know them weight cuts was killing him for 147, especially after that one for Stanion. It's like the way that he looked like when they was because you know how they do like the photo shoot and everything when they're doing the commercial for the promo. Like
Yeah.
the man, like that
Hey
dude.
man, let's switch up the conversation off of Boots for a second, man, because it's just
Oh,
kind
for
of
sure.
killing me, man.
Okay,
Like,
what
you know
about
what I mean?
David Benavidez?
We've been on Boots for a minute, man. I want to know what the fuck Gervonta Davis needs to do. What I really want to say, honestly that can actually happen for Gervonta Davis at 135, man. Because I was listening to Gary, and like Gary Russell Jr. is probably somebody he's not going to fight. But I'm looking at the fact, I'm looking at like, what is he going to do at 135 when he gets back? Because they say he's not going to retire. So what's reasonable fights that are going to take place with most of these guys already leaving? Because when the dude got on yesterday and he was like, well, they want Gervonta Davis to fight the best. And who's the best at 135? At this point in time, there's like really nobody there that can claim they're the best at 135 because nobody except for Shakur Stevenson. I think Shakur claiming it really is more the byproduct of the matchmaking of Top Rank. But if Shakur Stevenson goes to 140 and Gervonta Davis is 135, it's like, what is he going to actually be able to do? Who is he going to actually be able to fight? And it all points to guys like people from 135, maybe like I wouldn't be surprised if it's somebody like O'Shaquie Foster and Steve Fulton, because those guys are fighting at 130. They may move to 135. It may be on the outside of it because the fight could actually be made. I see that Lamont Roach is fighting Pitbull. Neither one of those guys have championships, even though I think there may be an interim or something for Pitbull. I think there's an interim or something for him. But you have Gary Antoine Russell, who's actually fighting on the undercard for the Gervonta Jake Paul fight. And that's actually a fight, if Gervonta wanted to go to 140, that I think is like a fan-friendly fight for belts, especially if they unify. So considering like Devin is gone, he's at 147 and should have been there. Teofimo Lopez is probably on his way to one. If he's not going to 147 right away, he's definitely at 140 and over there with Shakur. So I'm really like asking, like, who are the guys for Gervonta Davis to fight next? Because I mean, the conversation of who's going to be the next big star for me, like nobody would have predicted that it was Gervonta. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody. So that came from no fucking where. Nobody predicted that Floyd Mayweather would be the face of boxing. They said he couldn't draw flies to a garbage can for well over half of his career. He was well over 30 before he could sell tickets. All through 130 pounds and 135 pounds, he couldn't sell tickets like that. So I think it's going to happen whoever it happens for, under the scenarios that it happens. I don't think anybody has been successful in making making a star. Like, you really think about it. Top Rank never made a star. Like, they made good fights. They signed a bunch of fighters that made good fights, but they didn't make Sugar Ray Leonard a star. They didn't make Ali a star. They damn sure didn't make Floyd Mayweather a star. I don't think they made Oscar De La Hoya a star. I think the Olympics made Oscar De La Hoya a star because it was
Cotto and Pacquiao.
Yeah, what did you say?
Or even Cotto and Pacquiao didn't make them stars either.
No, I didn't make him stars. So I think it's the fighter himself that's going to do it, and it's going to happen for whoever it happens for. But as far as what Gervonta can do, that's like realistically, that they can realistically do, like, not this, oh, you ducking if you don't do this, you're ducking if you don't do that. Like, who are the guys that he's going to fight that are really in a pipeline, that where the money can be made, where the money is realistic? Because you're not going to have Shakur Stevenson jumping out asking for $6 million. He's not worth $6 million. Like in that one conversation that they had where with us, and Kenny Ellis said, just would you take $6 million? And Shakur kind of looked like, nah, like that's not enough. Bro, you're not making $6 million a fight. No fucking way, Shakur. Are you worth $6 million a fight? So who is it though? So that's what I want to point the conversation to. You got either one of y'all can cut in on that. And anybody who wants to jump on can jump on and share their opinion.
I'll cut in. And that's funny about that Shakur thing. Because he said Padley's been his biggest payday so far, unless he got more for his payday. But as far as what Tank could do realistically, I mean, like, if he comfortable enough, maybe he could do 140 comfortably now, depending on how he feels about it. He's been at 135 for a minute, and even though like he had his first fight at 135, like in what was it, like the Gamboa fight is when it was. He ain't really, because he had a couple fights, then he had Ryan. Now he got this one, so it's like, yeah, I could see him maybe moving to 140 because I don't know if you remember, it was years ago when he was on that. I think is it The Last Stand, that one thing that Brian Custer used to do. That he had an interview with Tank, and he said that he could see himself at most finishing his career at 147. Don't know if he still feels that same way.
I'm sorry. Who said they could see it? Shakur?
Tank. Because Brian Custer had asked him back on when he stood like the Last Stand, when he did interview people. Yeah,
man, so we ain't seen The Last Stand. Does he still do that show?
I have no idea. I haven't seen
The Last Stand with Brian Custer in forever.
Yeah,
me neither.
But yeah, he had asked Tank where he think he could finish his career at, and he said maybe 147. So maybe after this Jake Paul fight, he might move up depending on what's happening. Because like the way that he's feeling right now, he ain't trying to help no turkey fighters, get their name on the board and nothing like that. So it could be a situation where like I could see him if he moves to 140 fighting Gary Antoine. I think that would be a good one. If he don't move to 140 and the Gary Russell Jr. fight is still an option, maybe don't know for sure if that's one that would actually materialize and happen. Another one I could see maybe a rematch with Pitbull, depending on how everything goes with the supposed fight he got with Lamont Roach, unless Roach wins. Don't know what happens there. And I know that Manny Pacquiao said he's interested in Tank Rolly and Barrios. Don't know what he's going to end up doing, but if a fight with Manny Pacquiao happens, hey, that's something that would do a lot for him as far as if he come back and fight Manny and beat him. Like if they do an actual boxing match at 147, maybe. But those are the fights that come to mind right now. I don't think he jumped to 147 immediately, but at 140 and 135, like the three that come to mind, either one of the Gary Russells, and then the winner of Pitbull and Roach, and then
Who you got in Pitbull? Hey, anti-drift breaker. Who you got in Pitbull and Roach? That's gonna be funny. I think that's gonna be a tough fight for that's gonna be a tough fight for Lamont Roach, especially if Pitbull ever learns how to fucking jab.
oh yeah,
But I think that's going to be a tough fight for Lamont Roach, bro. That shit might have upset the apple cart a little bit, man, and bring on a rematch with Gervonta and Pitbull. That shit is like the in-house fighting aspect of the shit is is interesting to me because most times it's going to wind up with people that are fighting for the same promotional companies that are fighting on the same network just because it's much easier to get that fight done that way. But man, I'm looking for. Do we know if that is done yet? Is that done?
they're
I don't think
saying
it's done
December
yet.
6th. I don't know for sure if it's done, but December 6th is the date they talking about.
Yeah, I think Laurent. I think Roach. I think he's gonna have a tough time in that fight. I think that pressure bust pipes, man. We just got to see how he deal with it. Uh, until the fight is signed or whatever, we just gonna speculate for now. It's a lot of stuff in boxing, We hear dates and stuff, but till we see a press conference, we don't know what's real in boxing no more. But with Javante right now, man, to be honest, I'm still one of those people. I want to see him fight Shakur, and the reason why I want to see him fight Shakur is because I want I want him to these BS channels. Like I really want Tank to shut these guys up, man. So I really want him to get that Shakur fight out the way, and then after that, to be honest, I want to see Tank, and I think they was talking about it earlier this year, being though Tank might fight Tio. I think Tio was talking about that. So that's a fight that I would love to see. But if we can't get those fights, then like Phoenix said, possibly go up to 140. Cool Boy Steph did say him and Oshaki Foster did say they're possibly moving up. I think this might be Cool Boy last fight at 130. He's talking about moving up, so those
Already,
could
man,
possibly be
Kobo Steph is
fights.
flying up a whole lot of weight classes real fast, man.
Yeah, he
Like,
was draining himself, and that's why he looked bad in that way fight. He was been supposed to move up. They've been telling him to move up before that, and he stayed there too long. And then he went to 130 and getting the Oshaki Foster fight now. He got dropped in his first fight at 130. He won the fight though, but he got dropped. Oshaki Foster, I'm pretty sure he can make 135. He's a big 130 now. Oshaki
oh yeah,
Foster's like
Oshaki's a big 135, man. When's that fight again? I'm looking forward to that fight, man. That's on the
um
undercard or something. That's on a good undercard. That's a good undercard fight for something. Let me look
is
and
that
see
on,
what that is.
is that on the Thurman Fundora card?
I think it is. I think it is.
Yeah, I think it's on the Thurman and Fundora card.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. Oshaki Foster is always a good fucking fight to watch, bro. The problem with Oshaki, well, not the problem. Oshaki's fights always look close. That's the
Yeah.
only thing about Oshaki is like everything. He always is like right there. The other guy always seems like he's right there, man. But I fucks with Oshaki Foster big time. Yeah, it's gonna be on Amazon Prime and shit in just a couple weeks
Yeah, that fight is
on
coming
that
up
Thurman
in
card. So we got the Jerron is fighting on what
next week,
next week, and
October
then
11th.
I'm looking. Okay, cool. That's what's up.
Yeah. Then we got
They
Fundora
they
in the
robbed
third one.
Osaki Foster in that first one.
Of
That
what?
Conceição fight. Oh, the first Conceição fight, they robbed Osaki on that one.
They did, but like Fanon say, like he doesn't. A lot of his fights look close to where as though he's not like separating himself in the ring.
Oh yeah,
He's highly skilled, and him and Shakur is going at it right now. So that might possibly be a fight too. He don't like Shakur. He want to fight Shakur. So
Now
yeah.
you
You
know
know who let us know about the wickets?
Jackie Foster, bro. You know that shit ain't happening. I can't believe Shakur gonna play. I think Shakur playing as many games with fighters, more games than Gervonta Davis is playing.
oh
Because
yeah, he's all over the place.
that shit, the last couple fights, bro, I gotta admit, man, bro, I watched them shits like I wasn't interested at all, bro. In
Nah.
the last couple, man. Hey, Denali Smith said, hey, he became a new YouTube member, and thank you, bro. Super chat Thursday, Sloofanon. Thank you for a super chat, brother. I mean that, bro. I appreciate that, brother. That's 2 towards the goal. Thank you, brother. Yeah, man. Foster's more aggressive than Shakur. I would love to see that fight, man. That's why I think American boxing is so good, bro. We got a lot of really good fighters. I would take Oshaki. I would love to see Oshaki fight fucking Lamont Roach. That'd be a good ass fight too. But the
Oh yeah,
problem
for
is
sure.
everybody they act like there's no American fighters, bro. When you bring these guys up, their names up, like Oshaki fight, and even dudes like Andy Cruz, man. Was your boy Andy Cruz is there. If Gervonta fought Andy Cruz, people would be crying about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
They
especially
don't know what
especially
they're
because of
doing.
the Keyshawn Davis thing. Because everybody wanted to see Andy Cruz and Keyshawn, settle whatever they had going on from the amateurs. Now we got whatever happened to Keyshawn. We know when he's coming back. Hey, I was gonna say, because you guys was talking about T.O. and Tank. I think that could be a good one because, like, as far as the excitement goes, I think they probably the two most athletic guys, like around 135 and 140. I know they got the Gary Russells, Gary Antoine and Gary Russell Jr. Both of them is pretty athletic, but T.O. and Tank, it's going to be battle of the backflippers. They was both doing them backflips. They both out
So
there showing the acrobatics. That that
okay,
would that would be a good one.
let's take these five fight. Let's take these 5 fighters. All right. So you got like, what's the matchups that you guys will make with these 5 fight? Well, how many fighters you need? 6, right? Or you need 8. So of these are, I think most of these dudes I consider to be. Well, let me go through the names. And Gervonta, Shakur, Andy Cruz, Lamont Roach, Oshaki Foster, Keyshawn Davis. That right there, I don't think anybody would put. I don't think only person in that list that these people actually put on a pound for pound list is Shakur. But that right there is a world-class fucking tournament between these fighters. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah,
If these guys all fought each other,
absolutely.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
how would you make those? How would you match those fighters up, and how you see it playing out? That should be fun. A little fun
Ooh,
I,
game.
I
ooh,
would
that
match
would
up
be.
I would match up Keyshawn Davis, of course, with Andy Cruz. We all been wanting that fight since the Olympics. You said Tank Davis,
How you
Oshaki
see that
Foster.
playing out? How you see it playing out?
I would
You
take.
trying to get Keyshawn beat?
I, I would. Oh man, that's why I will make that matchup because that's a true 50-50. I don't know who will win in that matchup. Like I really don't. I know the amateur experience and stuff like that. What happened? Just in the pros right now, Keyshawn been a little bit more active, so it makes for a good fight. But I mean, he's on the shelf right now because he messed up Bob Arum's money. So that's why I think it's even more of a good fight. I even like I thought Keyshawn was going to 140 and was going to get the Frank Martin fight. But after that, I would do the Tank Roach rematch, Shakur and Oshaki, and then the winner of them two, Shakur and Tank, or Tank and Oshaki, Oshaki and Lamont, however it breaks down. But that's how I would match it up.
How you see Lamont Roach play? Lamont Roach and Shakur, Phoenix.
Lamont Roach and Shakur. I think Shakur beats Roach. Like, because Roach, like I was saying during the fight with Tank, like you remember, I was pointing out how Roach kind of does the same thing that what's his name, Regis Prograde did. How he
What's
gets
that?
someone in position to cut them off, but then he move himself out of position and they can get away. That was why Tank did that little dance on him in the middle of the fourth round. He was like, you can't catch me because you can't cut the ring off, and you would see it. And with Shakur's movement, like that's it for Roach.
Would you consider Lamont Roach flat-footed?
Um, I wouldn't necessarily say that he's flat-footed. It's just that he don't know how to move. Like, he quick on his feet, but he don't know how to move properly. 'Cause, like that's the one thing. Like there's a difference between having fast feet and having elite movement. So like elite movement, like when and where to move at the right time and everything, and you don't even need to be fast on your feet to do it. And then just being fast on your feet ain't the same. And that's the thing with Roach. Like he can move, but he don't move right. And I think that's what hurts him. Besides that, it's like we seen because he's a heavy counterpuncher. Anytime like Tank was throwing, like it's like he was kind of waiting for an opening. He couldn't really do nothing until Tank decided, okay, we're just gonna stand toe to toe and fight the rest of the night. Like the first 6 rounds, Roach wasn't able to deal with the movement and Tank pot shotting him and shifting angles on him and all that stuff he was doing. Like he just waited. And it wasn't
That's why I
until
gave Tank the
they
win.
told the where he opened up. Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
the
I
problem with
think
Roach
that's
is that
why I
he
think
keep doing this
Gervonta's
wait.
going to win the next. I think Gervonta's going to win the next fight if they fight because of that. Because Gervonta just needs to beat him, like just beat him, just outbox him and keep it
Yep.
moving. You know what I mean? Just outbox him. 12 rounds, outbox him. If in the last 3 rounds you want to start going at him a little bit, cool. But just get up on the cards, man. Because dudes, I don't say he's flat footed, but like I think he does. I think he's kind of plotting. That's what it looks like to me. Like he's plotting, like Canelo Alvarez plots a little bit, And he likes to, and he's an excellent. He catches shots well, parries and punches off catching shots well. So yeah, the less you give him, the less he's going to be able to do. That's at least how I see it.
I see him just like
Yeah.
Frank Martin. Like when Coach Kenny was talking about how Frank Martin lifting all of those weights, and it looks like when he punches, like it's like he's pulling the sled. Lamont Roach's upper body is so stiff, like he looks like he lifts weights too. So his feet isn't Tank. First of all, Tank Davis' feet is crazy quick. He has good movement, and his hands are super fast. So it's like Lamont Roach couldn't catch on to that. And I think that Tank, because remember he kept asking what round is it? I think he was losing the rounds because when you in that ring and you in that mode, like you not paying attention to the rounds and stuff like that. So I think if he would have known what round it does, he would have been picked it up. I had him up, like I said, I had him winning the fight. Lamont Roach didn't press the issue to me. He just was standing there and he wasn't taking it to Tank, and Tank is the champion. So it's like you got to beat him decisively. You don't have to knock him out, but you got to really go in there and press the issue. And I didn't see that.
Real quick, just before, so I can get it. Hey, Soul Glow with the dollar holler, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you for helping me get towards the goal. And my guy, Bird 101 in the building with the $10 holler on the Cash App, brother. Thank you for the support on this fine Thursday. And my guy, Demetrius Edwards, also with the $4 holler, brother. Appreciate you so much, man. Gary Antoine Russell, bro. Gary Antoine Russell and Shakur.
Mm.
How's that play out?
I think Shakur could beat him as long as he don't get clipped. That's the one thing that I wonder because like it's hard to get a gauge on how much power he got because he looked like a big dude. He looked like he can crack, and he has knocked people out. And at the same time, we've seen like there's some guys who ain't knockout. So that's one of the things for me where it's like, okay, is it a matter of he wasn't precise enough or didn't hit them clean enough, or maybe these guys can just take his power. But he definitely got the athleticism and aggression, and he seemed to have a good gas tank too. Like he can keep up that pace for like the whole fight. And the one thing about Shakur is like for me personally, I don't really feel like I've seen him in a fight where he had to work harder than he wanted to. Because you know how it is when some fighters get into a fight and maybe, it's more aggressive than they expected, or they got to move and punch a little more than they expected. They tire out. I kind of think that's what happened to Frank Martin when he fought Punk. You know what I mean? And, because of that, like against someone who could actually do damage to him, because we be honest, Zepeda couldn't really do damage. Yeah, he was throwing a lot, but at the same time, it's like, nah. And so that's one of the things for me where it's like, if the threat is real, like imagine Golovkin coming at you, everything you're throwing at him, it's not working, and when he hits you, even if it's blocked, like you still gonna feel it, yeah, and you got to worry about that, and then you got like all the stress and everything making your body tight and all that. Like I don't know how Shakur deals with that because I haven't seen him in a situation for that. Like just being honest, like outside of that, I think he could outbox Gary Antoine. Like, but one thing I kind of feel about Shakur is that yeah, like he got the defense, but countering in between shots, like we've seen it with Zepeda, he still didn't really do too much of that. It's like he kind of still waiting for the coast to be clear. So that could be the one deciding factor in that fight.
I think that I think
Hey,
that
real quick. Jeremy Austin, man, thank you for the $5 holler, brother. That means a lot, man. Thank you so much, man. And Ajay for keeping color in the chat with the $2 holler, brother. Thank y'all, man. Appreciate you so much, man, for that support. And appreciate everybody keeping color in the chat. Thank y'all for the support on the Cash App. Go ahead, Anton.
I think that fight would basically come down to if Gary Russell can close the distance on Shakur. If he can get in close and fight how Zepeda was able to get in close on Shakur, I think he'll have major success because he can mix his punches up. That was the problem with Zepeda. He was at the right distance for Shakur. He just don't mix his punches up. He throws that jab and that hook, jab hook. He wasn't mixing it up. He wasn't changing no levels. He wasn't. I think Gary Russell would be able to do that. But if Gary Russell is not able to close the distance and keeps him on the outside, yeah, Shakur is going to have it's going to be a boxing clinic. But Russell would have to cut that distance down and get up in the inside and make it a rough fight for Shakur and make it like Phoenix said, like whereas though Shakur has to adjust and be into a firefight, whereas though he could possibly lose, and we see if he can dig down and go to a different level because as of right now, these fights that he's been fighting to me is like I don't know how people even criticize the people that Tank is fighting, and they giving Shakur praise for these people he's fighting because it's not even exciting. Like and he's all over the place. He just talked about after the Zepeda fight. Remember, oh yeah, if I get to 47, I'll fight Conor Ben. If Conor Ben can come down, then he said he was too small to go to 140, but he's talking about fighting Tio. And then Turkey just came out yesterday and said he's planning a big card with Benavidez being the main event, Devin being a co-main if he beat Brian Norman, and
Put him in some
possibly
hey,
Matt
hold
Hughes.
on. Put him in some panties again. Man, stop putting them panties on Devin, on Devin Turkey. Another undercard. Keep
Yeah, he
putting
said he
panties
could be the
on, man.
co-main. Yep.
By the way, one thing I think that I take into consideration on the whole Shakur thing with Gary Antoine Russell is that Gary Antoine Russell's a southpaw.
Mhm.
So I like the fact that that's a southpaw matchup, man. That's not like a normal angle coming at Shakur. And Shakur likes to lean back and he uses a lot of that space, but a lot of that space is because they're in an open stance with his right foot all the way back and them
Mhm.
having to be used to that angle. When he's going to be leaning back on the side. Now he's going to have somebody on the right side of him. So that shit, that the angle, the southpaw angle, I think works for an advantage for Gary Antoine Russell. That's
That's
me.
why I want Tank to.
Yeah, I
That's
can
why I
agree with
want
that.
Tank to fight Shakur because he's so twitchy. I think he'll literally be able to capitalize off of that.
And he's gonna
Yeah,
punch in between, and Shakur can't punch.
Exactly.
Punch. I mean, Shakur can't. Shakur is basically playing angles on you. He's playing
Mm-hmm.
angles and pot shotting on you. But if you take away his angle, because that's the southpaw angles taken away, that's something I think Lamont Roach did really well to Gervonta too. Is he constantly was taking away angles, really quick to take away an angle on Gervonta. So, or as fast as he could, I think he was successful at getting those angles when he caught that angle on him, correcting it. So I think that southpaw matchups on is going to be interesting to see on Shakur.
Yeah, and another thing about the angles, like I don't know if y'all caught it, but there was a move that Gervonta did where he go ahead and land a double straight on Lamont, and he landed it
Mm-hmm.
every time he
Yeah, I
did it.
remember that.
Yeah, and Lamont never had an answer. Like shifting angles and like doing that to someone, like it's one thing for me because like if you look at the Padley fight, you look at the Haratunian fight, and you look at how their movement was giving Shakur problems, like look at the way that Tank was moving on Roach like the first 5, 6 rounds. Like that type like he did like this move where like he caught him with this shot, he shifted to the outside, came back and then threw a straight and a hook to the body and then got out of range and Lamont was like just stuck and
Mm-hmm.
didn't fire back on him. And it's like that, like he pot shot him, like damn near danced a circle around him, came back for a combo and didn't do nothing. Like I honestly don't know what Shakur could do with movement like that after we seen the Padley and Haratunian fight, especially since he complained the Haratunian moved too much, and it wasn't nothing like that. And that's one of the things for me where it's like, a lot of these guys that we call high IQ good boxers, it gives them trouble when they're the ones who have to, look to close the distance and cut off the ring or prevent the other guy from moving. Like they good when they on the back foot and they making the other guy come to them. But then when the tables are turned, it's like, okay, all that stuff goes out the window. And I don't know if it's due to not covering that in training or they just been used to fighting the same way for so long that it's hard for them to break out of that and remember what they're supposed to do. Or they on autopilot and they don't remember it. I don't know what it is, but it's something I've noticed with a lot of these guys.
Yeah, it's interesting. Hey, let me make a shift. Terrence Crawford. Damn, I just got unmonetized. Terrence Crawford ain't got nobody to fight next because Canelo Alvarez is going to be injured, or he had surgery, and he's out to the beginning of the year. And he's going to take an easy fight before he takes a rematch with um with Terrence Crawford. So who do you guys want to see? And this is a question to the audience as well. Serious question. Who should Terrence Crawford be looking at next? Because I think Terrence
Right.
he's in a really good position. I think he's in a good position. But the question is, you got the guys above him that are too big for him. Most of the guys that are his contemporary and really good fights for him, I think are really still at 154 and 160. When my guy Cardenas said Shiraz, but I'm going to tell you, I don't think Shiraz is a good matchup for Bud. I think Bud is too Shiraz is too big. That's my
I mean, if
personal.
he has integrity, Turkey said Shiraz gets the winner of him and Canelo, it should be something that he go ahead and follow through with as champion and chief handholder. We should go ahead and make that fight happen. Because that funny thing, like he was just on that interview with Andre Ward. He said Turkey didn't even want the fight with Canelo. He's saying he basically convinced Turkey to do
Guess Bud saying shit.
So
it. No,
is
he got
Bud staying
integrity
at
though.
168?
Like he said, he's not going back down to 154, but he might do 160.
If he do 160, then I want to see him fight. I want to see him fight Laura, or I want to see him fight God, what's the other dude name? The champion at 160. It's Laura, Adamas, and what's the other dude name, man? The Russian
Who?
champion at 160.
Oh, Janabek?
Janabek. Janabek or Laura at 160 to me would be
Fucking would love Lara. I would
would
love that Lara fight. Would
yeah,
love Aries
Oh,
Lady
me
Lara fight.
too.
that's my two matchups for Bud. If he stay at 168, um man, I don't see like maybe he could get a Demetrius Andrade fight.
I was just about to say that.
Um,
Hey man, please give Boo Boo a fucking fight, bro. Let me
that
go on.
that's
Please,
it for me because
somebody
like you
give Boo Boo
said,
a
the
goddamn
rest of
fight,
them
man.
guys are too big, man.
There are three dudes. There are three dudes. Jeep Red Boy with the $5 holler, brother. Thank you so much, Jeep Red Boy. And Jeep Red Boy right back at it with another $5 holler. Thank you, brother. Thank you for keeping the channel kicking, brother. Really appreciate you, bro. It means a lot, man. Thank y'all. By the way, thank you to everybody who helped last month. We had a good month on the channel. So thank you guys very, very, very much. And Jeep Red Boy just hitting it, pop, 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 helping me try to make that goal. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Can't even say
Can't tell you how
Plant.
much I appreciate it. What are you saying, Anton?
I can't even say Caleb Plant. He dogs walk Caleb Plant. Caleb
Who?
Plant gas tank is terrible, but
You talking
I think
about
he
Buzz gonna dog walk?
yeah, I
Buzz,
think he
hey,
beats the crap out of Caleb Plant, man.
Yeah,
damn, I
that's
hope
the
this
one
is
thing
not
that
accurate.
hurts Caleb Plant. Like his gas tank ain't been good. Like man, like, and that's a shame because I feel like that really takes away from a lot of his fights. I
Yep.
feel like he could have beat Benavidez if he ain't get tired. I
Yep.
probably would have beat Canelo if he didn't get tired. Also, with Canelo using that Floyd Senior trick, left hook to the lead hip, slow him down. But like man, like that's one thing for Plant, especially since he's been standing in the pocket, sit down on his shots more since the Anthony Durrell fight. But we seen what happened in that Matumbi fight. Like he switched it up and went from boxing to like I'm gonna just stand in front of you and beat you the hell up. And so that's something that's gonna take a little more out of him because he's gonna be taking more punches and he's gonna be throwing more. So yeah, like if he get his stamina issues under control, that could be good. But like man, that's something that ain't that easy to build up. So
Especially not this late in the game. Rescindi's literally
yeah,
let Caleb Plant work for 4 rounds, and after that, he drowned him.
yeah,
Man, you who you talking about? Caleb Rosendi's drowned Plant.
Caleb Plant, yeah, that was the last
yeah.
fight.
Yeah, but he gonna hit Bud with that. He gonna hit that Bud with that left hook that he fucked with. That he fucked your boy Anthony the dog Anthony Durrell
Darrell.
up with.
I was
Oh,
so
that
upset
shit,
about
hey
that.
man, of knockouts, dog. That shit was ugly as
Yeah, that was
fuck.
crazy.
That shit was
I
ugly, bro.
was I was so upset about that because I'm just like I never would have expected Caleb Plant to be the one to get a knockout in that fight. But man, that shit made me upset.
Man, but
But speaking,
Laura, I'm telling you, Laura, Gary Russell Jr., Laura, man, and probably Boo Boo are some of the most underrated fucking fighters in the
Yep.
sport, especially fucking Gary Russell Jr. Dog. Gary
Yep.
Russell Jr. So like Bud can fight. Like for me, like well, I guess because he did lose to Lomachenko, so he did get an opportunity early in his career. What did he get? Like it was split decision loss, something like that, or majority, something. But man, bro, those dudes are so fucking underrated. Lara is so fucking underrated. And
Yeah.
this guy's like that will not fucking consider fighting that dude. Like Floyd Mayweather would have never considered fighting Lara, bro. And lately, Lara's been Rigondeaux, somebody else. Just terribly, terribly fucking underrated fighters, man. Who do you guys think the most underrated fighters in boxing are right now?
right now, um, hard to say. Like I would definitely say Laura. I think people still don't really give him credit because you know how people view the Cuban style. And that's one of the things where it's like, oh, they just move. But then you see guys like Lara, you see guys like Frank Sanchez up at heavyweight, like, and they like they pick people apart.
The boy got his ass. Didn't he he fucking got yacked by Abbott Cabal? But
Yeah,
that's
he
what he was.
did.
Was that Abbott Cabal fight in Saudi Arabia?
I think so. I think
Yeah,
so.
I'm not counting that shit. I'm
But
not
yeah,
counting anybody getting their ass knocked out in Saudi Arabia, bro. You get knocked out in Saudi Arabia, I'm just thinking they playing some fucking games or something. I don't trust them fights coming out of Saudi Arabia. I know that's just some random ass shit, but still, like Martin Bacoli getting knocked out by Joseph Parker, I do not believe that fucking knockout. I don't believe that shit,
and
and
then McCollum.
I don't like the way Martin Bacoli's punches were fucking affecting Jared Anderson. Like just everything he was hitting with it was so heavy. There's so much shady shit where people are like, even Danny, did you see the interview with, I think you might have sent me the interview where Danny Garcia said, yeah, you may get the money going over there, but you also get your ass set up going over there too. So, you know, there's a lot of games that go on to some shit. And when you get some extra bad performances, like out of the blue bad performances, I don't buy that shit in boxing anymore, man. So as far as like Frank Sanchez, you see your boy fucking ducked Frank Sanchez. Moses Atumwa dump. Hey, Juan Randall. I'm sorry. How do you pronounce that name? Is that Juan? Jawan. Thank you. Jawan Randall. New to the channel. Appreciate your takes. Cool. I appreciate that, man. I am trying to do less hatred and more positive boxing conversation. And I think I'm really enjoying the panel today. So thank y'all for allowing me to interview y'all.
If you want to say up and coming fighters, like not really too known, that's underrated to me, I would say a Jeep Cabal at heavyweight. And
that's a dude that knocked out Frank Sanchez.
And Joshua Buatsi. I love the way he fight. He fought.
You like Buatsi?
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
You probably like style. What's my dude's name? You probably like what's that real? Damn, he's like a former 122-pound TT. What the fuck is his name? I think it's Tay. No, it's like he used to be. He's fought out of the UK. He's like a former 122-pounder. He's African. And his name is like TT or Tay, some shit like that. But he's kind of like a Joshua Buatsi type fighter.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name. I know who you're talking about, though.
I was fucking with him because I was like, damn, he might fuck around, be able to fight Gary Russell Jr. And then he wound up getting his ass knocked out. Something Tay. Goddamn. His name.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, those is like my two up and coming underrated guys. As far as bigger names, yeah, I would say Laura is super underrated. I've always been a fan. And Demetrius Andre, man. I just hate that he got that fight so late in his career, had to move up to 168, fight a bigger David Benavidez. A lot of stuff was going on with him. Like he said, his brother was in the hospital after getting shot. His mom died. He was dealing with a lot, and he went in there and because he was putting up some good rounds, man. But I think, like, I always wanted to see Boo Boo and Caleb Plant. I would still want to see that fight now. Or
no, Caleb Plant got to fight your boy. Caleb Plant got to fight your boy.
Oh, Bud?
Jamal. He got to fight Jamal. That shit got to happen after that pimp slap.
Yeah, I have to see that fight. I have to.
Yeah. By the way, the dude's name was Zolani Tete. That's who I'm thinking of. Zolani Tete.
Okay.
He's like a former 122-pound WBA champion, Zolani Tete. He fought out of the UK. You know, you forget about these UK fighters because they hype them up. They fuck around and disappoint you when they get their ass jaw jacked. And that's what happened to Zolani Tete. But Zolani Tete is like a 5'8", 122.
You know who I used to be a big fan of? Was one of my favorite fighters, Kell Brook. I used to be a huge Kell Brook fan.
Me too. I was a Kell Brook
fan, man. Oh,
I was mad they avoided him.
Went up and took that Triple G fight. Oh,
that's because they avoided him, man. That's the only reason he went up to fight Golovkin, man. Because nobody wanted to fight Kell Brook because they knew he was a real deal. Like till this day, like nobody has looked as good beating Sean Porter as he did. Sean Porter took some losses, but the way that Kell Brook beat Sean Porter, nobody's looked that good doing it. Not even Bud. Like the way that he was picking them apart, countering his shots, switching everything up on him, like he was like a diamond in the rough for UK boxing, like for real. Like he was a guy that man, like it's unfortunate that he had to go up and fight Golovkin. Crazy.
Back then, Fanon, I was literally Kell Brook and Gary Russell Jr. Those was my guys. Like, man,
Kell Brook
was so good, man.
Kell Brook gave me my favorite fight to seeing his ass get whooped.
Errol
because they introduced me to obnoxious. Like they were the first. Kell Brook's fan base was the first truly obnoxious UK fan base that I'd experienced because they were he's pity patting with his punches. He's this, he's that. And I was like, man, these guys are fucking obnoxious. And Errol had to go overseas to fight on Eddie Hearn's card to do it. And that shit ushered in an age of bullshit that we have not yet got out of. When fucking Kell Brook, after PBC started dealing with Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn ultimately flipped on him when he brought DAZN over to the United States to compete with him. But yeah, man, Kell Brook and his chocolate brownies. Yeah, Rocco McBride said
Chocolate brownies.
his fucking chocolate brownies. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
another thing about Kell Brook that people forget. He knocked out a fighter on Adrein. Amir Khan was on Adrein when they fought.
Yep.
Kell Brook stopped him in round 6. Like
Yep.
that's something that's amazing because apparently, when somebody on Adrein, you can't do shit to him. So that makes Kell Brook even more amazing.
Well, that's a
Yep.
good segue because when Devin Haney beats Brian Norman Jr., he's going to be a 3-division champion and a Hall of Famer. How do you like the reality that if Devin Haney really does get past Brian Norman, he will be a legit 3-division champion, former undisputed champion? And there's nothing that you will be able to tell his fan base about him not being in the Hall of Fame. So,
And speaking of that, I have a prediction.
seeing as that is a very, very, there's a high likelihood that Devin Haney can pull this bullshit off. I'm telling you, there's a chance because that's a top-ranked fighter. Now, usually I think they say, what does top-ranked fighters do? They don't usually let their fighters fight for championships unless they're 90 or 80% sure they can win. They probably are like 80% sure that Brian can beat him. But are you, and I want to, and look, bro, I welcome all you Devin Haney fans to come on, other than the bots, and say, hey, man, my guy is going to be a Hall of Fame level fighter with a win for his 3rd division, a championship in his 3rd division. But as soon as they say that, you got to throw Gervonta Davis in the Hall of Fame as well, because his ass is a 3-division champion as well. But what's your take on the great Dev and him and his possibility of, making solidifying his legacy as a 3-division champion?
I'll say this, because you could make it into the Hall of Fame for having a positive impact on boxing, and that's why you got guys like Sylvester Stallone in there. That being said, I think Devin, really had influence on boxing, outside the ring because he let fighters know what not to do.
Hold on, don't slide into hating now. Don't slide into hating, bro. I'm asking a serious question, bro.
Okay.
Question. You're about to slide in and flip the question and go into talking about all that other stuff. No, man, I'm talking about what he's done in the ring. What he's done in the ring.
In the ring, I could say like being undisputed, especially in the 4-belt era. Yeah, he did it the Terrence Crawford way. This fought, one person, for all the belts. Like imagine, become an undisputed on George Kambosos. George Kambosos of all people. Like, man, I guess he the. I mean, but then you got to. I guess shit, because now that's Terrence Crawford's fault because Jeff Horn is the one who paved the way for George Kambosos. Nobody was messing with Jeff Horn, the Hornet, and he beat Manny Pacquiao. And here come Terrence Crawford and whoop him. And Australia was looking for another star. And here come George Ferocious Kambosos. And the most ferocious thing about him was the way he was eating them punches with his face. Because what the hell, man? Like this dude came from down under.
Come on, man. You gonna do that really? You gonna come on, man. You're not giving the man credit for being an undisputed champion.
I mean, I guess we can give him credit.
Seriously, you're not giving him credit for being an undisputed champion if you run down the guy.
He got it.
I mean, he got it, man. He got it. No, he got
it.
Got it.
He said Devin is the next Floyd. Wow.
Yeah. Because Floyd passed the torch to him. He passed the torch. It might have been a matchstick, but it was still a torch. So that's one of the things that we got to accept. He beat Floyd up so bad that Floyd retired.
Man. These guys is crazy.
He said,
"Hey man, look, seriously though,
right?
Like in a very, very real way, bro. Devin was the undisputed champion at 135 pounds. He, for a brief moment, was a 140-pound champion for the WBC. If he becomes the WBO welterweight champion of the world, that is 3 divisions, and he was an undisputed champion. He's only 27 years old or 28 years. He's only 27. So, I mean, really,
If
all of the
Devin is able to
bullshit
beat
that
Brian
Bill,
Norman,
hold on one second, hold on. All of the bullshit that his promoter, manager, father puts in the air aside, all of the snotty ass ways and the stuff we make fun of that I shouldn't have made fun of, but I definitely made fun of because shit, dog, it's so easy to make fun of it. But aside from all of that stuff, the dude has had a hell of a career if he's able to pull this off, man. What do you think he deserves, man? Let me phrase it, see if I can say it that way. What do you
Oh, you went mute.
you want mute. You muted.
What do you think his legacy rests?
Being
Considering
honest,
all that's
like
true.
yeah, being honest, no hate. Like yeah, he's definitely gonna because I don't see how someone could be undisputed champion like in this day and age with 4 belts and not be considered, a Hall of Famer. And I know, like they look at, I believe it's 4 different criteria. I can't remember off the top of my head, but like if you go to the International Boxing Hall of Fame and look on their page, they'll tell you like the 4 different criteria they use as consideration for. And I think Devin does meet the criteria on that. Being a multi-division champion, even if you don't like his opponents, like you can't take that away from him because like, hey, champions is champions, and if you beat them, you beat them. Now, at the same time, like I'm not going to say somebody's better than they actually are just because they had a belt. At the same time, that don't take away from his accomplishment in doing it. So, being able to be world champion at 135 and be undisputed, being a world champion at 140, and then going up to 147. Yeah, like he's gonna get credit for that, and he definitely gonna. I mean, I like based on that alone, like if you erase like all the hate for him and the ass whooping from Ryan, like you can't say that Devin ain't gonna make it in the Hall of Fame. I'll say that. Like even then, it's like bringing attention to the sport. Like, yeah, they definitely brought attention to the sport, whether you like the nonsense Bill was doing or not, or any of that. Like, bringing attention to the sport is another thing that gets you up in there. So that's one of the things for me where I'm like, yeah, I don't like Devin, but he probably gonna be in the Hall of Fame. Like, being honest, I would be a little surprised if he didn't make the cut. At the same time, like, it's one of those things where I honestly believe it's 50-50 him getting in there. Or maybe 55-45.
Man, if Tim Bradley gets in there, I'm telling you right now, Tim Bradley got to win over Manny Pacquiao. Devin doesn't have that, but seriously, man, he deserves to be there if Tim Bradley's in there, man.
Yeah,
For real.
I look
Anton,
at
Yeah, I can refrain from hating.
I'll give you the same question, but also, man, I want to ask another question because I'm just curious. Who is your favorite trash ass fighter of all time? Your favorite fighter that you found out was trash.
mm, 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 mm. Uh,
That's my next question. Give it some thought, Phoenix, so you can comment
I
on the
want
other
to
one,
say
man.
this person name so bad, but I can't. So I'm gonna say
You know it's AB.
I. That's the name, man. That's the name. I just tried to avoid it. Oh
Y'all
my
know it's
god.
AB, dog.
I
Y'all know it's
tried to
AB.
avoid it so bad.
Oh
I started
shit, no,
thinking.
you know it's AB, dog.
I
Y'all know the
tried to
fall of AB,
avoid it,
dog.
man.
For me, it's AB and one other person. Like, but even then, I don't really think he's trash. It's public perception. But I was a huge fan of Gabe Rosado. Like, no lie.
Oh
Mm,
yeah, hell yeah.
Like, I think he just had an unfortunate turn of things. All starting with when K9 didn't want to fight him and ended up fighting Lee Shea Smith instead. Because he was the one who went up and gave Golovkin like his first real test. Like even then, the fight was stopped because his eyelids was hanging on by a thread. Like he was the first person to get in the ring with Golovkin where you seen Golovkin was lumped up and bruised up. And even though he
Who
couldn't
is
see
this?
from Gabe Rosado.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking
Yeah,
about Kasim Uma because Kasim Uma slapped him up a little bit before he got broke down. But go ahead.
yeah. But yeah, like I would say Gabe Rosado, like I think he just had an unfortunate turn in his career because like he was one of those guys who really had to get it up out the mud. Like he only had 11 amateur fights, and I think at the time like he was waiting tables in some diner and stuff, and then like picked up boxing, and he started late. So for him to be able to do what he did, like it's a shame that he never got the title shot, and it's a shame that the way his career turned out. That he's dope. Like he was one of my favorite fighters and stuff, and I do like the podcast he does with Abner Mares. I think that's pretty cool too. So I still keep up with him. But man, I wish that they would have built him up because like I said, he had to get it up out the mud. Like he didn't have really any backing at all. He didn't have nobody pushing him, and he was taking all of these tough fights, fight after fight after fight, and never really got built up or really like a break in between. He was just a war after war after war. So yeah, that's one of the things that for me, like, yeah, a lot of people might think he's trash, but I don't think so.
We could throw American in there too.
Oh, he's trash. Hey, bro, I'm letting dudes. Hey, now Americon was trash, bro. He was trash. I'm gonna tell you else who was trash. Most overhyped job ass dude I've ever seen is Prince Nassim Ahmed. What a fucking hype job that dude was.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Barrera.
On that question, ain't this dude that just said wins, bro? I don't want to throw you out, bro, because I'm really trying to be nice, bro. Seriously, I really am. So I'm not gonna throw you out because I'm really trying to be nice. But dog, can you try not to be an asshole, please? When is Boots scary ass gonna fight? Boots will whoop your ass. And Boots
Facts.
is fighting next week, but Boots will whoop
Facts.
your ass. So I don't know what you're talking about. And the second thing is Gervonta. Nobody ever found out Gervonta that Deontay Wilder was trash, bro. Deontay Wilder lost to two fighters, didn't he? Two fighters or three fighters in his career. And way after he had defended that belt 5 times. You was already in the Hall of Fame, bro. Deontay's going to the Hall of Fame.
I
But
wanted
anyway,
you.
I'm trying not to be a jackass. So I'm gonna let you slide, man. I really am. Okay. Please don't
I
leave stupid
wanted you
ass
to bring
comments
that
like
comment back up that the Cardenas put up.
yeah, sure. Here you go. There you go, 2 cent. The Cardenas, which one?
Yeah, he put up a
Zapata
comment.
is a hype job boat
No,
or
no,
what?
no. It was about Thurman.
Oh, back then when he said, oh, the Thurman's underrated. Yeah.
I don't
That
see my thing with that is real boxing fans know that Thurman is good, nice. Real boxing fans. It's only these casuals because they don't really know and these new guys. Thurman only lost to Manny Pacquiao. Thurman was that guy at 147. He unified that division. After that Danny Garcia fight and that injury he had, that's when everything went downhill. But before that, Thurman trajectory was Hall of Fame.
what's up, David?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, man? What's up? What's going on? 10-time hater ball winner and #1 contestant in history.
How y'all do?
Hey, what's going on? All right, what's going on, brother?
So, fella.
No, man, I just got in. Um, I'm up here. Took my wife to the doctor. She gone in, So I was up here for like the past 20 minutes getting OnStar to reactivate my service for some reason. They constantly
All right.
like,
Let's move it to
you know.
boxing. You want to talk boxing? You got anything you talking about specifically with boxing? I hope you're doing well. I'm glad. I hope your wife is well at the hospital. I really do.
Oh yeah, it's just a checkup. You know what I mean? That's all it is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hey,
So go ahead. What's up, 2 cent? How are you?
What's up? I had something to say real quick with the AB slander y'all got going on up here.
I love AB. I love AB, but come on,
Nah,
2 Cent.
this the thing though about AB. I feel like we all know he is a fuck up and a goofball as a person, but I think as a fighter, I'm an echoing.
Yeah.
But I think as a fighter, um, people don't give AB enough credit because they expected so much more from him. The man is a four division champion, and people say he wasn't a success. He was a four division champion. He was a big draw. He still got a cult following to this day. In my opinion, I think Adrian Broner was unfocused, undisciplined, and misguided in his career because he had no business taking that Maidana fight. He had no business moving up to 54 to fight Maidana, and that was the beginning of his downfall. I think Adrian Broner just didn't listen to nobody, and he was running around doing whatever he wanted. So when it was time for him to take his career to that next big step, people were saying, "Oh, this the next Floyd, this the next Floyd," and you hear people say that. But as far as the stardom, the attention he was able to garner, the fans, he was really on his way. So I don't think AB is a trash fighter. You can look at the man fighting, you can't deny his skill. And I think that it'd be a double standard with that, looking at a fighter's skills and giving them credit, because you hear people say like, "Oh, Terrence Crawford ain't got a great resume," but you can't deny his skill. But when you got other fighters that skill, they don't give them that credit. So I just wanted to come up here and say that real quick. That's what I think. I think AB was so good and talented that his accomplishments get overlooked because people expected so much more from him. I don't think he was a trash fighter, but I
He ain't
do
trash.
think
Now. He ain't trash, but I'm just saying it was a disappointing. It's been not
he
disappointing. The
is the
fall
biggest
was so
disappointment in
long.
boxing I've ever experienced in my
It,
boxing fan career.
it's just
And
the
I want to throw.
bullshit. Hold on one second. Let me just respond real quick. It's just that the bullshit. The bad thing about that, it's overshadowed because at this point, there's been a longer amount of time that he's been on bullshit than when he was on non-bullshit. So it's like
I
the
agree.
time, it's like hard to remember that that Adrian Broner used to be celebrated because of how hard he was, how hard he worked. Like that's what they used to really push, and they used to do videos about is how hard a worker he was. And then it's just like, man, he made it, he got the money, and then it's just he stopped. That's wow. It's
Yeah.
just a wild ride.
You
That
know
I
what my
think
camera
dad
Adrian.
said
movement
Well,
about
was
Broner?
I
embarrassing.
think Adrian Broner might be on the spectrum a little bit. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. But I want to throw Ben Whitaker name in the hat. Even though I like Ben Whitaker, I think he's an entertaining fighter. But I think he's trash.
Ben Whitaker is a damn goofball, that's for sure.
He an Emmanuel Augustus wannabe. Like that. That's the problem with him. And man, I'll be so glad when he go away.
Ben
No, I
Whitaker,
like Ben Whitaker. I like Ben. I like watching him fight. But as far as like for real, as soon as he get matched up with the wrong person, he's gonna get his ass whooped badly, in my opinion.
probably. Probably, but that's because he doesn't take it serious. I mean, he just doesn't seem like he takes it serious, and that's what like Adrian Broner. You don't take shit serious over time. Some shit's gonna bite you, man. It really is. But what's your So, what did you want to talk about, David? Did you have anything specific you jumped on for, or
Oh yeah, now that I'm up to speed with what the conversation was, because I saw the thumbnail said AB, and I tried to get connected, and
oh, what I'm just
what was
saying is
going
that.
on.
So
But
I'll tell you, my argument with that was the following: that if you look at Adrian Broner's career. And the fact that Adrian Broner brought Gervonta Davis on, and Gervonta Davis not only saw how Floyd operated, but he also saw how Adrian Broner operated. And,
mm,
Gervonta Davis is he's basically lost a lot of, I think he's lost some of his fire because he's trying to like make sure that his life is together and it doesn't get out of control. So I think he lost a little bit of the fire, and he's also looking more towards retirement and making sure that he gets his money together, because not only does he see how people treat him, he also sees how that fame and shit can go away from the example of Adrian Broner, because Adrian
yeah,
Broner really was on his way to being like a really big pay-per-view star. If he could have beat Marcos Maidana, and even if he like to 2 cents point, even if he just would have continued to stay, a consistent fighter with all that bullshit, his fan base would have stayed with him for a long time, man. And I think boxing really misses Adrian Broner, man.
I think my opinion on that is with Adrian Broner, I believe he played around a little bit too much in the ring, and that's what started to lead to that downfall. Um, a lot of his antics that he would do in the ring was a little bit overboard, and it just so happened that he got caught. And after that, it seemed like he had a little bit of a problem getting back on track, like you were saying in that last fight against Maidana. But with the Tank issue, I see Tank look at Adrian Broner as a big bro, of course, but you could see the negative influence that he had on Tank for a moment in time. Whereas though you had him going out with Adrian Broner. I don't think Coach Kyle wasn't around at that time. He was going out with Adrian Broner. Matter of fact, I think he even went in and was training with AB's trainer at that time. You know what I mean? And you can see the difference in the tale of two Tanks since then. Tank has leveled off and he got serious. And once he became a gym rat, sort of just like Mayweather, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, his skill level has taken off. Since he became a gym rat, his skill level has taken off. It just went through the roof. Now the problem is when he's fighting, they have game plans that they go through each time he have a boxing match. And they go through those game plans. What they're doing now is, I believe, they're switching things up. Whereas though you won't see him just go in methodically, just break somebody down round by round, even though people believe that he's losing rounds. What he's It's a method to the madness. He breaks the boxer down bit by bit by going to that body, paying dividends on the body, as well as working them up top. You know what I mean? Keeping them off balance with that jab. And then whenever he can, go ahead and he shoot that left hook in. You know what I mean? Or he'll go with lead with that straight left. You know what I mean? Power shot. But I see that the problem with Adrian Broner was the fact that once he got caught, he didn't straighten up, cut all of his antics out, and he didn't stop all of his recreational activity. I also believe by watching Adrian Broner, I think he may have some CTE damage going on with him. And a lot of times when um, athletes have some CTE problems going on, they tend to go straight into alcohol and then drugs. You know what I mean? Right now, we see Adrian Broner. He's clearly an alcoholic. You know what I mean? He needs help with that. He gotta get himself straight with that. You know what I mean? But I don't know if he acknowledges it to himself. If he acknowledges it to himself, then he'll be able to come around from that.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Comeback Protocol? How can I help you? What's going on? Sin Ironheart. How can I help you, brother?
Hey, listen, greetings to all you brothers, man. I'm just, for now, always listening. Just want to let you know I'm down another 15 pounds just in case you was, you know, keeping
Oh,
track.
good for you, brother. Good for you, sir.
uh,
I blew up a little bit and came right back down. So I'm still
yeah,
working on it.
you're looking good, man. You're looking good.
Thank
I
you,
just
brother.
want to say this. Sometimes we forget where a lot of these guys come from. You know, a lot of these guys come from extreme poverty. Myself growing up in the inner city on the low end here in Chicago, you see a lot of stuff, and your only goal really is to make money, and you see boxing as a way out, just like back in the 80s and 90s when I was growing up, they said basketball and football, whatever, was a way out for brothers, to make money and to get your family out the hood. Once you've done that, like there's something more innate that should be inside of you to continue to strive for legacy. That's not all the time in guys, you know, talking about being great. I mean, they say that, but and that's really in all actuality when it boils down to it. Once you've made all this money and you gotten your family out of the hood and you sit back and you like they talk about the silk sheets analogy. It's kind of hard to still push yourself when your only real motive. I mean, I know they want to be champions, but many of them have done that. Like Adrian Burner has done that. Tank has done that. You look at guys like Errol Spence, even he said he lived a life where he would balloon up in weight, he would do all this drinking, and he never stayed disciplined. Because once you reach that goal of taking your family out of the hood, making sure everybody's straight, you got a bank account full of money. For a lot of them guys, that was the goal, and now they've reached it. So it's like, okay, what now? I just want to throw that perspective out there to see what you guys thought about that and how much of that plays a part on guys not really reaching what we think their full potential is, or how far they should go in boxing.
I agree with that. I agree with that. 'Cause, like, one thing I've always said is like, for us, it's easy for us to look at it as just entertainment, but for them, it's their livelihood. That like that's something that a lot of people forget. So it's like, they doing it for them. It's like, okay, you got a job at Google. Does that mean you're supposed to try to work your way up to be the CEO or CIO or anything like that? That's basically the way people are like, oh well, if you're not a champion, if you're not doing this and that, because they have a certain idea in their mind about what a boxer is supposed to do, how they're supposed to live, and what they're supposed to strive for. But you look at a guy like Tank. He just wanted to improve his life situation. You look at Floyd Mayweather talking about his inspiration for becoming a boxer. Like, shoot, there was in a single bedroom house with 8 kids living in there and just his mama, because his dad was gone and both his uncles wasn't around at the time. He said, like, shoot, if I made it so my mom never have to work another day in her life, then I found what I could be the best at, and it was boxing. So like that was his motivation. We got Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz, the degenerative diseases that their children have, and that was their motivation, so they could pay for them treatments. But like they was able to do more on top of that. And the thing is, like, just because they was able to do more, like more than what they originally set out to do. Like people have it in their head that okay, that's what they should keep striving for, but that just ain't the case. So that's why for me, I hear about something like this exhibition happening, and I'm not mad at it because look what happened to fighters in the past, like end up not having any way of making a livelihood, and people forget about them. Ain't no more fans left after they retired. So the fact that they're able to go ahead and stack up money now to make sure that they straight, make sure their families are straight. Hey, I'm not going to be all upset about that.
And we shouldn't, because you could take Gervonta Davis at his word. He tells us all the time why he got into boxing. But I just want to say something real quick with Adrian Broner. I really pray for Adrian Broner because I'm a person that um come from dealing with something that he dealt with. So I was in high school, I played sports, and I wound up having a significant injury and was prescribed oxycodone, which is Percocets. And a lot of these doctors overprescribe you, and then once they cut you off of that medication, they give you no treatment plan or nothing on how to get yourself together. I experienced withdrawal symptoms, and from there, I was a person that literally for 3, 4 years was buying oxycodone off of the streets and was addicted to oxycodone. I had a great job at American Airlines for a while, and they had an EAP program that I had went to, and they sent me to one of the best treatment facilities in the state. And I went to treatment the first time to get my family off of my back, because everybody was, hey, you better than this, that, and the third, da da da. You got a family. Boom. I never took it serious. I just wanted everybody to shut up, went back to work. First day home from treatment, I went and got high. A year later, 2 years later, is when I officially hit rock bottom. And I knew I was serious about it the second time because no one knew. And one day I just got up and left. Literally, it was Valentine's Day of 2022. February 14th of this year, I will celebrate 4 years clean and sober. Um, Literally, me and my wife had dinner dates for February 14th, but I was so fucked up. Excuse my language. I literally left, packed my bag. She went to work, son went to school, and I checked myself in. Called her when I got there and told her, hey, I'll see you in 45 days. Never called home. Just worried about and focused on everything that I had to worry about. Had my brother, my father, and everybody checking on my family. And since that day, I never used again. I then came home. I left. When I came back home that time, I kind of people, places, and things is one thing that we learned in treatment. You got to change the people you're around, the places and things that you do, and how you do. I don't do nothing that I used to do no more. I came home, I was kind of nervous, like, damn, man. Because the first time I did it, I fell right back into it. So what I did is I came home, had a couple dollars saved up. I literally went away to Arkansas, got my CDL, and I've been good ever since. And now I got my own business and I'm taking care of my family. But the one thing that's more important than all that is, I take it one day at a time, and I don't use anything. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything. This vape is my bad habit and I'm trying to quit this. But I hope hopefully Adrian Broner get it together, man, for his kids.
Most definitely, man. Man, that's a powerful story, man. And congratulations. And I hope you
To that,
wish you the
brother.
best on that same journey. Sin Ironheart,
Appreciate
man.
it.
What's going on, sir?
What's going on, Fanon? What up with everybody in the chat, man? And salute to you, Anton, in that story, man. That
What's
take a
up,
lot of
son?
yeah. What up, Dave? And yeah, salute to you once again, Anton, to share that story. That take a lot of nerve, courageousness, and I can only imagine how much it took to put yourself back together, man. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Appreciate that.
Um,
Yes.
um, so I want to say about Adrian Broner real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here sneaking on while I'm at work and shit, listening and whatnot. I want to say about Adrian Broner. First off, I think Adrian Broner is a great talent, but I think that Floyd Mayweather has destroyed a lot of young talent that has come into the sport because you had, in fact, I said this on your channel before Fanon. You had a lot of people that came out after Floyd retired that attached themselves to Floyd, and Adrian Broner being one of the biggest ones. So in doing that, when you're a developing talent and you put a big expectation on yourself by saying something like, I'm the next Floyd Mayweather, I'm the next this, I'm the next that, Devin Haney, so on and so forth. And then you see these guys lose, that expectation goes, it doesn't allow the fighters to develop beyond the loss. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they kind of crush underneath the weight of the people that they try to attach themselves to. And I think that the Mayweather era is the only era where you've seen a lot of younger talent, this new wave of talent attach themselves to Floyd's identity. And now you've even seen champions leverage their celebrity, such as Canelo, which this is a Floyd move. Canelo became as big as Floyd coming out of that generation, and he leverages his celebrity to not fight certain talent. And now you got core boxing fans that are like, we looking at champions funny now because you got these guys that's touching belts, not defending them, grabbing belts, becoming undisputed, then vacating, jumping to another weight class. Know what I'm saying? Like it's nobody is really, I think that Floyd has just put the celebrity mindset on people like Adrian Broner, Devin Haney, everybody that came out of that gym. And Tank is really the only person that stayed afloat because he kind of stayed silent. He was the only person that was fortunate enough, I guess, I'll say fortunate enough to sign with jealous ass Mayweather, but he stayed afloat. His talents kept him afloat, where I think that those other guys would have drowned underneath that. And, I just think that, yeah, I think it's the Mayweather effect, man. I think that that's what we could blame on the failure of Adrian Broner overall, because in reality, he has not taken very disastrous losses that he can't come back from. We've seen other fighters take some horrendous losses and still kind of, sell off into the sunset with a respectable career, And if anybody could disagree with that, please help me out. But that's how I see it, and I think that's a fair assessment.
I
Yeah,
certainly
I agree with you.
I certainly
I agree with you.
respect your point of view. I think also we got to just call a spade and give some of these guys accountability. You know, one thing about Floyd partied, but Floyd lived pretty much a clean life, and he trained every day, like his life depended on it, because that was his way, right? We see the flash and the flamboyance, we see all the cars, all the girls. We all know that that's just really kind of like a front, right?
Right.
We already know that that's entertainment, right? But when it came down to it, you had to beat Floyd. No matter, I know people talk about his last few opponents and all that kind of stuff as he got a little bit older, but if you go back and look at a lot of Floyd's older fights, I mean, he was in there banging. He was in there fighting hard,
Yeah, it
like his
was
like
pretty boy.
his life depended on it. right?
Yeah, pretty
I,
boy.
I I think that a lot of this generation now look and saw all the money and thought to themselves, I want that. But they wanted that without going through what he went through when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. Even at Money Mayweather, he still trained hard, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. What boxer you know is doing that? Because he did not want to lose, and he still doesn't want to lose, right? He don't want to lose at nothing. That's how we were bred coming up back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. It was winning and losing. Like even today, I'm power walking brisk on my walk, working out, trying to drop the rest of this weight. I hate when people walk past me. It's a mentality. It's a competitive mentality. What the younger people today, not all boxers, but I'm just saying some of the boxers, they lack a competitive edge. That thing that's supposed to be in you is it's inherent. Like you can't learn that, right? Somebody can't give you that. You gotta want to be the best fighter, the best champion in your division. You gotta want that. That's what's lacking today. That don't have anything to do with Mayweather, in my opinion. I think it's just the generation today. It's the social media generation where they want things right now. They see what somebody else has. I want that, but I don't want to do what that person did and what it took to get that. I want the shortcut. And maybe, at the risk of sounding like I'm old, I'm not really that old. I'm only in my mid 40s, but I'm just saying, like, I remember waking up every day, going to run, thinking the guys I played against a lot of pros growing up in basketball in Chicago, thinking that that guy was training harder than where I was training. So that made me push a little harder. That type of mentality, you don't see it in a lot of the fighters today. That's just my opinion.
I agree with you, man. Because Martin, you know what I said. People want money made things, but don't want to do pretty boy things. So that's that same thing. Like I remember the story you were talking about. Nate Jones was on an interview. I don't know if y'all follow Floyd, then you know who Nate Jones is. He was on the same Olympic team with him. But like he was saying, there was a time where he was living with Floyd, and like it's like 3 in the morning. Like he woke up and Floyd wasn't in the house, and like he didn't get back to like a few hours later. And it's like, hey man, where'd you go? He's like, man, I had a dream about losing a fight, so I had to go run 10 miles. So he did that because of a dream. So it's like, yeah, I don't think it's that um, he didn't show them the way. Is that they wanted to ignore it because like look how many interviews the people are giving where they're like, man, his work ethic is crazy. Yeah, he's made it, but he's still training like he's trying to get off the streets. Yeah, he like no matter what they're saying that he's always staying on top of his game. They say like he go to the club and he don't drink nothing. He'll be wearing jeans or whatever. Man, he'll go ahead and run back home wearing jeans from the club. Like that's the thing that people is ignoring. So like the fact that he gets up in there, he make it look so easy. Like they ignoring that he had discipline. He ain't party like they said he'll be at the club buying drinks and everything for people, but he not partaking in it. So it's like, yeah, no, they don't have his discipline, and that's the one thing that would always give him the edge. And he also stayed close to his fight weight too. So it's like he's staying in shape, he's staying disciplined. He don't have to worry about cutting weight. He at his natural weight, and he doing all this extra stuff, and then he's going in there, and he was fighting dogs. From the time that he fought Gennaro Hernandez, and then went up and it was you know Castillo next, and he kept doing that time after time after time. And people ignore that just because like a lot of them didn't really pay too much attention to him until the Oscar De La Hoya thing with 24/7, and he changed his name to Money.
Yeah, but the thing though, let me just interject if you don't mind. I
Yeah,
think, yeah, like I also think it's just a changing of time and the different ways that people like play sports. Because when I was a kid, most people learn how to play sports or they learn how to do the sports themselves, like literally on the street. Most people that came to the gym learned how to fight on the street. And most people that learn how to play basketball a lot of it just playing pickup games, outside. But as much as these kids talk about being outside, they're not outside as much as we used to be. They're just not out there. They're in the house. Like they're playing video games. Like a lot of the physicality probably left a lot of these kids because the majority of them are spending their time playing video games. For me, when I grew up a kid, video games were like a very fucking rare exception. That number one, maybe one person had it. And then when you did it, you may play for like an hour. Maybe you play an hour a couple times days a week if you can go to their house and play. Now you got dudes that are literally turning pro in video games, right? And they're playing it all the time, man. And they lose a lot of the physicality. These dudes, as far as like fighting and all that stuff, these dudes are scary people, just period, because they always want to shoot people. That's another thing. You're not fighting, you're shooting, or you're not even stabbing anymore. You're just shooting. So even the people that are like in the neighborhoods where you would learn how to fight, because you got a lot of people fighting, in those neighborhoods, they're not fighting no more. They're shooting. So I think it's also a shift just in just time. As we get older, things change. The fighters are now a lot more robotic, like a lot more robotic. That's my understanding anyway, of like the way that even like when you listen to the way that people talk about how Deontay Wilder fights and how his hand's not in this right position and is not in that right position. And they have this real incredible focus on fundamentals. Even when they say Shakur, like they say, look at how Shakur Stevenson fights. Like, look at he does. And like Shakur Stevenson himself got enough nerve to criticize how Sugar Ray Robinson fights. Sugar Ray Robinson wasn't fighting a bunch of robots. You know what I'm saying? People fought in different ways, different styles, because they fought so much. So, I mean, I just think the general toughness of the older you get, I think the more tough they were. I don't think we were as tough as the people that came up before us. And the people that came up before them were probably tougher than them.
Absolutely.
So I just think it's a general softening. It's a general softening of shit. I mean, we're soft to the point now that you literally can choose whether or not you're a boy or girl or other. Like you literally can choose whether or not you're we or they. I mean, that gives you a serious like idea of the worldview that is being shaped for people, where it is like, it's soft to the point where, okay, they just want you soft so you can't revolt or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that they are really pushing general physicality and physical education for people in general, if that makes sense to you guys.
You make a
You
lot of
do.
sense.
I believe what it
Could I add
is
something?
social programming. That's what you have going on right now. Psychological social programming, your social media, and all these other vehicles in which people can get in contact with people all over the world. This is what a lot of that problem has become. And a lot of people don't understand that they are being socially programmed. When I say that, they're catching on to ways of being even more lazy. You know what I mean? It's just like being engaged online is like living your life without leaving your house. And you automatically see a lot of this within a lot of these movies that has came out, sci-fi movies that has came out, where people glued to their chair, playing a video game constantly. You know what I mean? People living through other robots' life, going out doing all their tasks while they play games. It's just mad weird. It's just mad
I,
weird.
I think one other point that a lot of people with the Mayweather comments, I think that while we talked about them not being able to mimic his discipline, I think that the big realization that hits these fighters that looked up to Floyd is what happens when you find out that you're not Floyd and you're just Adrian Broner. What happens when you just take that loss that 99% of the boxing world does take, because the loss is the other side of the game. And when you aspiring to be Floyd Mayweather, to go with that, Floyd doesn't have the answer for what do you do? How do you put yourself back together when you take that loss? That's
I'll
the
be
side
right
of the
back
game
if
that
y'all
Floyd
keep
has
going.
never seen.
All right.
I'll be
All
right.
right,
I'll be right back. And
For
hey,
sure.
y'all, when other
Hello.
body's talking, can you put yourself on mute so you don't cut across? If
For
you
Oh,
don't
okay.
sure.
mind. Yeah, if you're not talking, put yourself on mute because sometimes people cut across. But go ahead.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, what I
Yeah.
was
Yes.
about to oh, go ahead, Phoenix. I'll go after you.
Yeah. That was me saying. But yeah, what all I
that
was
was
saying
me.
was that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What I was saying was that you trying to mimic an undefeated fighter, one of the few undefeated fighters, one of the few fighters to retire undefeated, and then when you meet that defeat, which is literally the other half of your sport, you have to learn how to put yourself back together. And I think that a lot of people just have a fictitious and fantasy mindset that they think that they're going to be able to retire undefeated until they're met with that other side of the game. And now you have a whole list of entitled fighters who thought that they were Floyd Mayweather that found out that no, you're Devin Haney. No, you're Adrian Broner. And nobody has the answers on how to put yourself back together other than you. So that's going to be a process of fighter development that this generation has to put themselves together and figure the fuck out whenever they get out of the shadow of chasing other people that they'll probably never be, such as Canelo, Floyd, and everybody the fuck else that they looking up to. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah,
I'll
I
say I agree with
All
understand.
right,
that.
David. All right,
I
go ahead.
agree with that.
Uh,
Oh, David,
hey,
you want to go ahead?
yeah. You know what? Back to the Mayweather comment. Um, I've seen those HBO fight video presentations when they would go ahead and you would see Floyd out there training. He is the example of a gym rat. Seriously. He lives in that gym, watches his diet, stay on point, take every opportunity he can to go out and train rather than to party at times. Tank has morphed, and I think that's the greatest attribute he took from Floyd Mayweather was to become a gym rat. The fact that he goes from different spots around up and down the East Coast training with the various trainers that he deal with. And that shows a lot of discipline to be able to do that. The other attribute I believe taken away took away from Mayweather is listening to the business sense. There was there was a video from one of the videos for before the fight, whatever, to pump up promotional videos to pump up the fight, right? And Floyd was sitting with Tank on the plane, and he told him, "You see how I got this plane? How I got everything I got? I got everything I got from training and doing what I want. So my advice to you, Tank, is to do whatever you want." So he was training them right there on how to think when it comes to business and what to do in those situations. And seriously, I believe he learned a lot because you see, he's executing that plan. You know what I mean? Along with the help, of course, of Al Heyman. And Al Heyman was the one who was beside Floyd to help him get to where he got to. So I see that a lot of these younger boxers out here are really jealous of that situation. And the fact that Tank's able to go ahead and take those attributes from Floyd and implement it into his life and into his career, constantly training in the business sense of carrying out deals with Al Heyman, just like you see he just did with this J. Paul fight. I
Yes,
pass
sir.
on.
All
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
I was
man.
gonna.
Well, look, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna touch on something that you had said earlier in relation to this. Like as far as people trying to imitate Floyd and like kids today not being as athletic as they used to be. Cause like you can tell, what a difference between a fighter who got natural athleticism and who just learned the fundamentals. Like you can tell in their movement because it's more fluid. It doesn't look as robotic. It looks unpredictable, but at the same time, got a certain level of composure to it. You know, like what a lot of people call unorthodox ain't really unorthodox. It's just that it looks different from what you expect it to look like. So that's why that's another thing that people forget because like a lot of people, and I feel it's kind of like a disservice and discrediting of Floyd's abilities, where it's like they want to box it into just movement and defense. You know that's it. That they want to move. They say he runs and he's just too defensive, but at the same time, like okay, there's only two boxers who by CompuBox estimates were as accurate as him, and that's Joe Lewis and Lennox Lewis. They're the only fighters that landed like an average of 46 to 48% of their shots. That take precision. And then look at the other things he does as far as being able to adjust on the fly, being able to get people to make certain moves based on how he positions his body, like a whole bunch of other things that fly under the radar, and people just think, oh, he just pot shot and he just pot shot. Like there's so much they did, and I liken it to, you know, the NBA. Like imagine the first time somebody did a crossover in the NBA that must have blown people's minds. For the first time, they seen somebody in the middle of a game jump from the free throw line and dunk it. Like they're like you, because you could tell. Like, you remember them old school videos of how they was playing basketball. They got to put one arm up while they dribble with the other hand because they can't dribble with both hands. Like they had the same thing in boxing. It was just new techniques that people was doing, or they was improving on techniques that was already there. You know, because Floyd ain't the one who created the shoulder roll. He was the Michael Jackson of the shoulder roll, but he ain't the one who created it. So that's the thing.
Yeah,
Like
that shit
people,
also changed technique. You also, I mean,
yep.
like that shit with basketball is also equipment.
Oh
It's
yeah,
also
Can I
equipment. You can't dribble them old fucking balls like they can't dribble them balls like the balls they used to dribble with. That those guys played with in the 50s and the 40s. They can't do them goddamn crossovers with them fucking balls. Them niggas gonna be dribbling with that ball going straight up and down. And they call for a foul. They call you for a foul. They call traveling every fucking time because it's traveling. Like I be watching basketball now. That shit is traveling. That shit is carrying, is traveling, is walking. Like they be acting like there's these new skills. No, nigga, you just letting them cheat. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck that
can
is.
I say one thing for now before we
Yeah,
go?
go ahead.
Yeah, I just want what you was saying earlier, piggybacking off these kids now and the development. You could look at it throughout all of the sports. So with boxing, look how everything changed. There's more divisions now. It's less rounds. Those guys were fighting more. So that right there automatically dumbs you down some. Boom. Football, Pop Warner football. I got a teenage son. My son is 16. I grew up playing football. He plays football now. Back then, when we were growing up, we used to play at it was weights,
Yeah.
125, 110, all of that. Now it's not, they go by ages. It's 8U, 9U, 14U,
It's
stuff
not.
like that. So I was at a game last week. This 14-year-old, he looked like a grown man. He was an offensive lineman. He was like 6'4", 270 pounds at 14 years old. I remember back then when the bigger kids in my neighborhood wanted to play for the 125s, they used to be running around the field or with the track with the sauna suit thing on, trying to lose weight just to make the team. So we were outside, we were more athletic. Basketball, those guys had to do 4 years in college back in the day. So when they came into the NBA, they were grown men. They had grown men strength. The era of basketball back then to today, they would dominate these guys in the NBA. They were way stronger and way more physical. And another thing is LeBron James attended to it. They don't play no more. That's why you see all of these. Back in the day, I think it was Isaiah Thomas and Dominique Wilkins was like the two major cases where you heard of somebody tearing their Achilles. Five NBA top players this season tore their Achilles in 1 year. They don't practice no more. They do a bunch of drills, but they're not playing contact basketball throughout the summer. All they doing is working on drills. You could watch the videos on all of their Instagrams. Back in the day, they talk about it. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, these guys was in UCLA and what's that college out Chicago? These guys were
They
playing
was in hoop
pickup
gyms, and they
games.
were in hoop gyms, and they was in
Yes,
at IIC at IIC in Illinois Institute of Technology. IIT, Illinois Institute of Technology, used to have pro-am games during the summer. They would be there. Ball.
exactly. Playing basketball throughout the summer, getting their body conditioning and in shape. These guys are doing drills. It's not the same thing because as soon as you get contact, your body don't know how to react to that contact. I've never seen so many Achilles injuries in my life.
They don't scrimmage.
They don't scrimmage. They don't play.
They also are worn the fuck out by the time they get there. Because they got the knee, they say they got the knees of, they be like 19-year-olds with the knees of 25-year-olds because they run them in the same circle because they drill them so much.
Yep.
They got them Greg Oden knees.
That's not
What
the
the hell?
same as
What's
you
going on,
playing.
Dean?
What's up, family? What's going on, y'all?
You
Hey, y'all, I got a little experience with this. Dean used to be a good AAU player, a basketball player, high school, all that. I done played with Deion Waiters, Kyrie Irving, Michael Kidd, Gil Crest, just to name a few, right? So,
You on mute.
now I know if somebody was playing music on beside me, I ain't wanted to be on your live. The real problem is, y'all, they skip leg day. Have you seen basketball player legs? You see Kevin
yep.
Durant and John Morant?
Yep.
Put some muscle on. Y'all don't want to lift weights. Y'all not Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was blessed with a pain threshold that many people his size not. Y'all not him. Lift weights. Do leg day. That's their problem. You don't see Giannis Antetokounmpo getting Achilles injuries and shit. You
Nope.
know why? Because he built like a goddamn tank.
Yep.
Okay? You didn't see who's somebody else. Do you see that happening to Nikola Jokic? You know why? Because he built like a refrigerator. Do some damn leg day. Okay? That's number one. But I wanted to say this, y'all. I'm so sick and tired everybody in this boxing community, and I know Fanon done heard it. Y'all happy Tank getting paid money. Y'all Tank fans happy he getting a bag like y'all getting some. I don't think when people say say stuff that they understand what they saying. So you telling me I should hate on them?
Right.
What you take? What are you? Because then it's the opposite, right? If I'm happy, then you wish I was sad, right? Why would I be sad about that? Jealousy is unbecoming of men. So I shouldn't congratulate another man coming from certain circumstances the same way I have. And they'll be saying, and if Fanon gonna feel this, they'll be saying stuff like, y'all acting like y'all getting the cut, like Tank paying y'all. Well, idiots, Tank kinda is paying us. Because I get the most views talking about him. I get
Mm.
paid off of that. When I
Mm.
do a live show, people send super chats on the conversation based around him. So he is kind of helping us. If he didn't exist, then you wouldn't. For now, how many videos you think you got about Gervonta Davis? A lot, right?
I mean, I got a lot, bro, but you know,
No, I know.
I'm happy, bro. I don't like to talk like that. I don't like talking like that. But
What?
you know, I
No, you
got you.
got a lot. No, you got a lot of videos about him. If he didn't exist, that's a lot of videos that was never made. So that
His
I
come
mean,
up
haters
I
out
would
got
the
the
have
way.
to talk
longest
about
videos
somebody
about
else.
him.
I mean, honestly, if Jatank's not there, I got to talk about somebody else. And it's
Exactly.
these other niggas ain't these other dudes ain't around. I will say this: I don't get shit for talking about Devin hardly. You don't get
God
shit for
damn.
talking about Shakur hardly. You don't. And when you and the thing is, let me tell you where you get it. When they have fights, when you have
Yep.
fights, yeah, because everybody wants to talk about the topic. When nobody really, except for these paid dudes, want to talk about the shit that these guys claim that everybody want to talk about. The fact of the matter is, shit's gonna go bananas. And when does Tank fight Jake?
November
It's
November.
sometime.
November 8th.
November
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 Yeah, fight
8th.
14th.
November
Or
8th.
14th,
Watch what
14th.
the fuck happens the week of November 8th and the week after November 8th. And plus, count the number of things that these haters are fucking doing. These haters are definitely needing to make money for Tank because that talking bad about Tank because that's what they're getting paid to do. You know what I'm saying? But as far as getting a share of stuff, bro, that's just boxing in general. Like as long as somebody values you, then bro, that's the thing about, I believe, it separates people that do content for real and people that are bought off. Like you people that are gonna fuck with you are gonna find a way to fuck with you and talk to you about the shit that you guys want to talk about. And it could be in any particular area that you do it with. If you do videos on movies, if you're eventually going to find people that see the same thing in movies that you see, and when you develop that type of community, then that's real. You know what I mean? And then Gervonta gets to take advantage of that because we do things for Gervonta, because ain't nobody defending Gervonta. If we weren't defending Gervonta, shit, nobody would fucking be doing this shit with all the bullshit they got on it. You know what I mean? So I just don't want you to get boxed into a conversation where people say, oh, you make money off of this. No, you make money, Dean, because you're a fucking very good conversationalist and people want to fuck with you because you can talk about Tank all day. If you were a fucking idiot, man, ain't nobody gonna fuck with you. You'd have to go find somebody else to pay you to talk bad about somebody. It's the people that don't have the personalities that have to fucking do that PR shit where they get paid on the fucking back end for dogging people that do that shit. You know what I mean? It's like, your value is the fact that it's you. You know what I mean? The videos that the videos that I do don't, until recently, don't have, 99% of them don't have Tank's face in them. I just want to talk about, at least that's what I hope and I think about it. As long as you're talking to your people about boxing, the people that fuck with you about boxing are going to show their interest in the fighters that you talk about. So when you talk about Gervonta, I'm going to get more views because more of my subscribers like Gervonta. You know what I mean? That may not be the case if somebody does videos about Gervonta and their fans don't like him. You know what I mean? Except for that is the case because that's exactly what them niggas do. Anyway, I hope that we go ahead with your point though. You know what I mean? If you get where I'm coming from.
No, I understand. It takes talent to make content, and then we need them. They need us. This one hand wash the other type thing. My thing is, Fanon, I'm happy you get super chats. I'm not mad about that. You understand? I'm happy to see another black man get money. I'm never going to be sitting up there talking about I shouldn't be happy about that. And then they say stuff like this. Well, we just want to see the fights. Tell me how fights get made.
Hey,
go ahead.
Well, bro, you're making that money more honestly than they are. They're just gambling. They're lying and gambling. So how the fuck are you? You're gambling on these dudes fighting. That's making money off Gervonta. Either making it or losing it. But that's what they're doing when they do that. You're making your money by being somebody that is just a charismatic person. They chose to talk about boxing. I maintain that shit. Because niggas won't fuck with you if you bullshit. Just period. And some nigga, they ever seen like shit, like you gonna be a live ass nigga no matter what, bro. Like that's my personal point of view. Like you just a dude that's gonna be a live nigga no matter what you do. And it don't matter where you lived. Like PS, if you live in Chicago, you wouldn't have never been able to survive in New York. The fuck I wouldn't have. I'd have been the same shit in New York that I was in Chicago. I could have been born in fucking Brazil, nigga. I'm gonna be the same shit in Brazil as if I was born in France. You know what I mean? So niggas don't make me. The boxer don't make me. You don't make the fucking boxer. Just like, and that's I think a big fucking problem that people have, man, where they start turning on boxers because they think the boxer, they're so fucking up the fighter's ass that they think that fighter is literally them. You know what I mean? Like, bro,
living vicariously, of course.
Yeah, it's silly. Like, why would you turn on Gervonta just because he does some shit you don't like? You see what I mean?
Fanon, that goes to show you dudes ain't have real dads and they don't got real friends. Hey, Fanon, me and you got friends. I argue with my friends all the time. My friends do plenty of stuff that I don't like. I'm talking about, give you a prime example, Fanon. My homie, he got married. And I told him before he got married, I said, bro, don't be doing this stuff you was doing. You gonna get married, bro. She ain't going, I'm telling you, bro. All right, Dean. I knew my bro wasn't ready, right? I didn't go to his marriage, Fanon, because I didn't agree with it because I knew he was on some BS, right? And mind you, his wife is my other best friend, big sister. So you see how that can get tricky? His wife is my other homie sister, right? So, long story short, she wound up kicking him out the house a year or so later because he was doing the stuff that I was trying to tell him not to do. and he had to come sleep with me for a couple days. And you know what I told him, Fanon? I said, bro, I hear you with all her stuff and everything that she got going on, brother. But I told you, bro, you got to be the man. If you don't like it, leave. But you can't bring certain stuff that you used to do into a situation. I don't care how long you've been with the woman. So we argue with our friends and stuff all the time. I'm not going to just turn on him because he do something that I don't agree with. Simple as that. That's not called loyalty. That's called being a fair weather fan. That's what I'm not. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So if y'all ever expected me to just, it's going to take a lot for me to just turn on a motherfucker. He got to really do some shit. I can't get mad at nobody making that type of money. And I'm going to salute him and congratulate him because I feel like a lot of people be like, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. That's because you're jealous. That's why you don't care. You're jealous. That's why you don't care. Why wouldn't you want to congratulate that man? Fanon, if I gotta, when people come up here and tell us, hey, Fanon, I just got a new job, or Fanon, I just got married, or Fanon, I just graduated law school, do we sit up there and be like, man, I don't care, I just want you to defend the case? You muted, Fanon.
No, that's not the no, you don't do that, man. You know, like you acknowledge that life is a whole thing that you have to deal with. You know, like congratulations, Gervonta, on the $150 million. Congratulations. You know what I mean? Not, oh, this is bullshit. This is the worst shit that ever happened in the world. Man, he's selling out everybody. Yeah, I get you. 100%, Dean.
And plus, Fanon, how you gonna criticize somebody for doing something you wish you could do? These people, these content creators, these fans, these YouTube fans, show me you'll turn down $150 million because what somebody else said. Show me. Prove you a
They out
hypocrite.
there.
Then everybody say, no, I would do it. Then what you bitching about? Then what are you bitching about? I don't
They out
understand
there.
it, Fanon.
I was gonna
It
say,
seems
Dean.
like, go ahead, King. Go ahead.
Yeah, to what you were saying, like getting mad about it. That remind me. You remember Samuel L. Jackson in that Django movie when he seen Django come in on the horse. They're mad that Tank got the horse, and they over there complaining. So like, what he doing up there on that nag? Like that's basically the way that they acting about this whole situation because like let it be. Matt, could you imagine if Devin Haney was the one who got the shot right now? Could you imagine that,
Oh,
He'd be the face
God.
of boxing. He'd be the face of boxing. That's what they'll be
bro?
saying. They
Bro,
already saying,
Man,
hey, Phoenix,
that
they
would be
already saying if
diabolical.
Devin beat Brian Norman, he'll be the face of boxing. I swear to God. Swear to
and
God, they
Devin
making
saying he
videos
want to
about
get the
that.
ring belt. Devin said he wants the ring belt if he beat Brian Norman. I'm like, nah, you got to go ahead and fight Rolly and Mario Barrios too. You're not gonna get the ring belt just off Brian Norman.
Oh,
That would
yeah,
be
he
Man,
will.
crazy.
Yes, he will. You know why he
That's the
will.
way.
You know
They're
he
holding
will.
that
That's
hand extra,
That turkey out
that's
she's
the
going to
way
have
we.
it too. Hey, can we
man.
not cut across each other? We doing that cutting across each other
Yeah,
stuff again.
I'll mute myself, but yeah, man, that's crazy.
well, I don't know if you, for now you muted.
Yeah, I did it on purpose. I'm saying you can go ahead. If you not muted, you can talk. I'm muting
Oh,
myself so I can follow the rules.
oh, I know.
Oh
No, for now,
yeah,
I just, go ahead, Dave. You want to talk? You got something?
yeah. I want. Yeah. Seriously, I I kind of agree with you on that though. These cats and their hate is ridiculous, especially the ones who get paid because then they go double down. They double down on all of that bullshit. All of that, excuse me, all of that Mickey Freaky Bull janky. You know what I mean? Seriously. They double down on it. And it's ridiculous because they can't see reason. And that's how you know one of the signs you know someone's delusional. They have heard so much spin and planned out attack words and diversional tactics that they study that even when they wrong, they constantly believe they right. Even when you give them facts. I don't understand. I never seen a group of people who don't agree on facts. There's no shame in the world if you don't know a specific thing and you're corrected. and you're like, okay, you just accept it. You just learned from it. No, they don't embrace that. They go the other way. They even put up more short-term memory. They go and they put even more emphasis on their lie. It's ridiculous, man. I don't understand, yo. These dudes is like just like wilding. And to that point about Devin Haney being the face of boxing, if he was to get that opportunity, man, we would never ever stop hearing that man Bill Haney's mouth, man. He'll be going nuts right now on every daggone platform. Seriously.
I just want this, y'all. If y'all don't care about what these fighters get made, see y'all know I like to bring it around. I brought this conversation up for this one specific reason, for now. Oh, y'all don't care what fighters get made? Then stop making videos about Gervonta and his lowballing people then. Then stop talking about what Eddie and them are offering people if you do not care what these fighters get paid. You can't have it both ways. I seen everybody make videos. Oh, Eddie need to do this and get him more money. Rashidi Ellis. I thought y'all didn't care what these fighters get paid. I should not see nobody saying nothing about Gervonta Ennis and Eddie lowballing anybody since y'all don't care what fighters get paid. You see the hypocrisy? You see how that's a slippery slope? You see? If you don't care what fighters get paid, don't care what fighters get paid. Then don't worry about if they lowballing somebody or not. Don't tell Boots. Boots, you should have gave Brian Norman 2.2. I thought y'all ain't care what fighters get paid. How you gonna tell Gervonta Ennis to lose money now? Just an observation, y'all. Next time you hear somebody say that, be like, oh, really? Oh, all right, well, I better not never hear you talk about nobody ducking nobody for no money or nothing. I thought you ain't care what fighters get paid. I'll leave it there. Maybe that's illogical.
Sounds pretty logical to me. If you don't care who's getting paid, how much they're getting paid, stop telling people to stop lowballing people. That makes exact sense. Exact sense. Y'all got anything else y'all want to chop it up about before we
Nah,
wrap
I'm
it
out
up?
of here. I'm out of here, my guy. Good show, my guy.
All right, man. Get back, Dean.
All
You
right.
Hey,
good,
y'all
Dave?
take it easy.
All right, y'all.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
about to
good.
bounce.
I'm good.
All right,
I'm
Had a
man.
good,
great
brother.
show
I'm
today.
good.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the good conversation, man. Appreciate you, David. Appreciate you, King
All
of
right.
Hayden.
Yeah, for
All right,
sure,
bro.
for sure.
Peace and blessings, brother. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. But look, man, that was a lot of fun. Thank you to everybody that supported in the channel. I'm going to get up out of here, man. It's been a fun conversation. We'll be back tomorrow. Deuces.